following is a presentation of the Dragon Sports Network.
Game Night is presented by Clean Harbors Environmental Services. Clean Harbors is North America's leading provider of environmental and industrial services. The company serves a diverse customer base which includes a majority of Fortune 500 companies and spans a number of industries including chemical, energy, and manufacturing, as well as numerous government agencies. These customers rely on Clean Harbors to deliver a broad range of services such as end-to-end hazardous waste management, emergency spill response, industrial cleaning and maintenance, and recycling services. Through its Safety Clean subsidiary, Clean Harbors also is North America's largest re-refiner and recycler of used oil and a leading provider of parts washers and environmental services to commercial, industrial, and automotive customers.
From Henson Rollins Field in Des Arc, Arkansas, we welcome you to Game Night on the Dragon Sports Network. I'm Wayne Pumphrey, and folks, as early as Tuesday, they were parking vehicles around Henson Rollins Field to get them a good view of tonight's semifinal showdown between the Des Arc Eagles out of the 6AA and your Junction City Dragons out of the 8AA. Jacob Pumphrey and Denton Ashcraft joining me up here in the Eagle press box. And, folks, all I can tell you is this. It is electric. They have been gathering around the field waiting to get in. They had the blankets down, marking where they're going to sit. And all I can tell you is this. The sixth meeting between the Eagles and Dragons should be, as a great legend said, Mr. Keith Jackson, a barn burner. Right now, let's go to the Ameriprise Financial Coach's Show. We're going to start out tonight with an interview with Coach B.J. Pascal of the Des Arc Eagles and hear what he had to say about tonight's game. Here with Des Arc Coach Pascal. Coach, talk about your season so far and how things have went for y'all.
Oh, I'm very proud of what the guys have done up to this point. Our kids play hard. Now, we know that we're going up against a very good Junction team tonight. This is the third year that we've played them here in a row, so we're starting to get more familiar with them. But I'm proud of what our guys have done. Just hoping we can come out and play a good ball game tonight.
Offensively, how are you looking going into the game?
We're a flexbone team, so we're looking to go in and we're going to try to establish the run. That's what we do. Most things will happen off of our dive and our option game. So that's what we hope to be able to do. And, football, it doesn't matter how much you spread it out. It's not going to change. The battle's still going to be won up front. So we hope that our guys are able to establish the line of scrimmage tonight and just play well up front.
Defensively, what do you do?
We're a four-front team. So we're going to be in a 4-4, 4-3. We might slide down into a 5-front some. So, our mentality is to squeeze and spill everything. Try not to let teams get north and south. Let them run to the sidelines as much as they want to. So we preach rallying to the ball and just doing your job. So hopefully that's what our guys are able to do tonight.
And this is your fourth year at Des Arc, you said?
Yes, sir. Fourth year at Des Arc. First year as the head coach.
Community support here. I know coming into town, I was very impressed. You have banners up, signs everywhere. Talk about how the community has got behind this program.
Yeah, Des Arc is so supportive of their football team. They have been since I've been here. From the Booster Club providing us anything that pretty much that we ask for to people in the community just reaching out all the time. Hey, Coach, what do you need? That's one thing we're very blessed with here in Des Arc is a community that really rallies behind the football team.
Coach, thank you and good luck tonight.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
That was Coach B.J. Pascal of the Des Arc Eagles talking about tonight's semifinal showdown between his Eagles and your Junction City Dragons. A little while ago, I had an opportunity to catch up briefly with Coach Brad Smith and hear what he had to say about last week's game with the Poland Indians and tonight's showdown with the Eagles.
The Dragon Football Coaches Show with Brad Smith is presented by Ameriprise Financial and local financial advisor Greg Harrison. Located at 116 East Elm in El Dorado, Arkansas, Harrison Financial Management is a private wealth advisory practice of Ameriprise Financial Services. Call Greg at 870-444-5505 for all of your financial needs.
Coach, your thoughts on the Poland game?
Offense once again did well. Defense struggles more. Sort of the same issues, and we hope we've got them corrected because there's about two or three guys that aren't doing what's expected of them, and they're on a very short leash tonight.
Coach, the trip up here today, I'm pretty sure everything went all right.
Oh, it's perfect. I mean, we worked out in Sheridan, ate at Longhorn Steakhouse, got on the road and got here.
Tell us about Desart. What can we expect out of them? Start with the offense.
All you got to do is, if you've ever been to a Desart game, it's Desart. Straight at you, option. No fancy, no guesswork. Big boy football.
Defensively?
They're going to play their 40 stack like they did last year. Extremely well coached, very good technicians. It took us, into the third quarter to get a hold of them last year. So, we're expecting a real tough ball game.
Coach, making it to the semifinals and the way what you and your staff have been through this whole football season, how does it feel to make it here despite all the obstacles?
That's what you're supposed to do. You're giving cards, man. You play your cards and play them right. You do things good.
Coach, thank you for your time.
You bet, man.
All right.
This has been an exclusive presentation of the Dragon Football Coaches Show with Brad Smith, presented by Ameriprise Financial and local financial advisor Greg Harrison.
That was Coach Brad Smith of the Junction City Dragons in tonight's game with the Eagles. Of course, Smith talking to him. We'll get into a little bit more of that later, but Smith talking about some of the things the Dragons have got to do tonight, one thing in particular, and we'll get into that when we come back from this 1-minute break. You're watching Game Night on the DSN. We are back at Henson Rollins Field. About 18 and a half minutes, folks, from the kickoff of tonight's semifinal showdown between the Eagles and Dragons. And right now, let's go and visit with DSN correspondent Sean Enos with the Arkansas AA report.
Welcome back to the AA Arkansas Football Report. This is the Friday, December 4th edition. This week, taking a look at the state semifinals, but first, let's take a look back at last week's scores. Gurdon beat East Poinsett County as expected, 53-6. Fordyce beat Foreman 47-8. Folks, Foreman did a heck of a job this year advancing this far after just about as horrible of a start to a season as you can get. So nice job, Foreman Gators. Junction City beat Poen on the road 48-38. What a nice season by the Poen Indians. That program, hopefully, they've got a bright future ahead, and we can look forward to probably some more strong Poen teams down the road. And finally, Desart knocked off Bigelow 38-22. So that brings us to 4 teams remaining. And back in August when I put together the 6-pack of teams to watch, these were the first 4 teams that I thought of, and they've been in our 6-pack from week to week all season long. The first matchup has Junction City on the road at Desart. These 2 teams do have history, including a state title game between them, with Junction City leading the series 5-0. over the years. Junction City's defense gave up over 200 yards rushing last week against Poen. Well, and Des Arc has one of the best rushing games in Arkansas at about 400 yards per contest. So something's going to have to give on this one. I'm going to be a homer and say the Dragons figure it out on the road and win a close one. I'm going to say within 3 points or so for the Dragons. The other matchup, when I looked at all the available information in August, these two teams look like the best two in Arkansas AA football to me. Great defenses, speed at the skill positions, great tradition. It doesn't get any better than Fordyce, the defending state champions at Gurdon, the Go Devils. Old guys like me, we remember these two teams from the old 7AA back in the 80s. You know what those two teams had back then? Speed and great tradition, so not much has really changed. These are probably the best two teams in AA, and they have spent the whole season beating up on people. Both teams will run the ball, but if needed, they can throw it as well. So that dual threat, it's always fun to watch, and passing will play a part in this one perhaps, and I'll give the passing edge to Fordyce pretty much over most of the teams left this season. I'm terrible at picking games, but I'm going to give Fordyce a very small edge, maybe 2 points on the road tonight. So there you have it. We picked two road teams in the semis to win away from home. Let's see what happens. Just know this, the best four teams in the state are left as it should be, and regardless of who wins tonight, we should have a great matchup in the state finals in 1 week in the Rock. That will do it for the semi matchups. Let's turn it back over for more analysis and commentary from the best in the business, the DSN, Jacob, Wayne, the ex-Wildcat. Until next time.
And that was Sean Enos with the Arkansas AA report. And just to recap it real quick, he said Fordyce by 2, Junction City by 3. Jacob and I were kind of checking that out and looking at each other like, it's going to be, these are going to be tight ones, we believe. 2 great games tonight. That's the predictions by Sean Enos. I want to thank Sean for all his outstanding work this year on the Arkansas AA report. And hopefully he gets to do one more, definitely. Right now, I'm going to bring in a guy that's kind of familiar with these state semifinals. And I'm going to start by saying this. You know, when you hit the playoffs, Jacob, you got 3 rounds there, the first, second, the quarterfinals, and their playoff games and all that. But the semifinals seem to hold their own little special place because you're one step away from, and for any high school football player in Arkansas, it is the ultimate goal to getting to Little Rock. So talk about your experiences first, then we're going to talk about a young man from Des Arc.
Yeah, Wayne, like you said, it nothing against the first, second, quarterfinal rounds. Post-Turkey Day football, we talked it up last week. It was a barn burner in Grant County. Great game, great atmosphere. But when you find yourself in the semifinals, 4 quarters away from going to the Rock to be able to play for a Class 2A state title, it's just a tad bit more special. Obviously, the stakes are high. No surprise there. These two teams, like you said, just moments ago, 6th meeting all time between the two programs, and the stakes have been high in the previous 5 meetings, and they are as high, if not even higher, in this meeting tonight. So it's a special moment. You want to take it all in, especially as a senior. When you're a senior and it's your last run, that you never know. I guess I should say when your last game might be. So when you find yourself in these moments, you're one of the final 4 teams in the state. You got an opportunity to play for a state title. And for Des Arc tonight, they get to do it in front of their home fans. So I know that's going to definitely have some added motivation behind that group. So, we said this off air a little while ago. Man, if you can't get your blood going, if you can't feel excited, the crisp air, the field's turned, the grass is dead. If you can't get excited about that, then there's nothing we can do for you.
Absolutely, you got that right. And now let's talk about a young man from Des Arc who was, as far as the Eagles and Dragon fans were concerned, it was a talk of the week, and that's Luke Morton, the quarterback for the Eagles. He got hurt in last week's quarterfinal game. Did not think he may or may not play. We watched, of course, he come out on the field. He was dressed out. He has a cast, I believe.
Somewhat of a brace on
his
elbow.
arm.
Yes.
And you looked at me and you go, I'm not surprised, but you meant it as a compliment. Talk about that.
Sure, yeah, you're not surprised when you see a young man like that, and you know he's going to be gutting it out tonight. You know, obviously we don't know the role that he's going to play, if it's going to be the same role that he has played throughout this entire year on the field, but I can guarantee you, regardless of how limited or how full that role on the field may be, his role off the field, on the sidelines, wherever he may be, is going to be just as important as it has been. He's the vocal leader of the team. You know, Coach Pascal talked about that in the days leading up to tonight's game. He's the guy that they look to, and when you look out there and you see your quarterback who went down late in the game last week, dressing out, he's got a brace on, he doing everything he can, a senior, saying, guys, I'm out here with you. Let's go to battle together. I'm not sitting this one out. Regardless of what role I play on the field, I'm here with you. I'm dressed out. I'm ready to go. I mean, if I'm a teammate of his, I'm ready to run through a brick wall.
Well, it's like we were talking about earlier when we first saw him go out there and everything, and you go, I'm not surprised. And I said, you know what, I'm not either, because I said just him being out here alone trying to get ready. If your teammate's not feeling good for some reason, or he's just not, I mean, there's no excuse. You look, hey, what's your problem now? This guy's out here with his arm messed up. He's got a brace on it. You know it's going to hurt. He gets hit.
And it's cold.
It's cold on top of that. What's your excuse again? I didn't hear.
Exactly.
There's no excuse. You get out there and you play. Hats off to Luke Morton. He's going to try to give it a go tonight. Now let's talk about your tie-in with the Des Arc Eagles. Dragon fans, they're going to hear that, and they may want to get a little riled at you because you are the voice. But there is a slight tie-in, and it has to do with Coach B.J. Pascal.
Yeah, it does. Coach B.J. Pascal, his uncle is Van Pascal, who's the head coach at Wynn. Obviously, Coach Van Pascal, one of the top high school football coaches in the state, one of the most well-respected high school football coaches in the state, rightfully so. Obviously,
Absolutely.
spent time at Barton, at Monticello. Obviously, he's at Wynn. He's had a lot of success. But his son, Tyler Pascal, was the head coach at Des Arc last year. Me and Tyler played a year together at SAU. Tyler went on to Arkansas State. And then was able to move into coaching from there, Arkansas State to Arkansas, been a couple different places, including Des Arc, like I mentioned last year. He's now in Tennessee, and I believe either the week before or getting close, they were playing in the state championship game.
Folks, we're going to step away for a minute, and we'll be back with more of the game night here on the DSN.
The schools participating in this football playoff game are members of the Arkansas Activities Association as authorized by their school boards. The administrators of these schools have helped to write the rules and regulations that govern participation of students in competitive activities for the school that are members of the AAA. The Arkansas Activities Association, which is sponsoring this football playoff game, is a voluntary, nonprofit educational association of some 500 junior and senior public and private high schools of Arkansas. The regulations which guide these events are adopted by the schools themselves and determine the type of program they believe to be the most desirable of the high school youth. The Arkansas Activities Association is one of 50 state organizations that belong to the National Federation of State High School Associations. This association formulates policies, game rules, and standards for inter-school competition. The schools of Arkansas have adopted these rules on eligibility, which correspond with those recommended by the National Federation.
Game Night is presented by Clean Harbors Environmental Services on the Dragon Sports Network.
The following is a presentation of the Dragon Sports Network.
Folks, we hope you enjoyed game night here on the DSCN. We want to thank Clean Harbors Environmental Services for being the presenter of game night this season. They will also be the presenter of the tip-off show that we will have for basketball once basketball gets rolling in the border town. We're about 6 minutes, just a little over 6 minutes away from the kickoff between the Des Arc Eagles and the Junction City Dragons. The 16th time the Junction City Dragons in the past 20 seasons have been in the state semifinals. And I tell you what, it does not get old. I had folks ask me about, well, you know, you've been here quite a bit. You make it this far. You know, does it kind of get, you know, old hat, so to speak? No, it does not. Every year is a different year. It's a different season. And you still have that same want to make it to, you know, as far as you can go. And to get to the semifinals, like Jacob talked about a little while ago, you know, it's special. You have 3 games that play the first, the 2 first rounds, the quarterfinal. But that semifinal stands on its own because for one of these 2 teams, the dream's going to continue. And if you'd have told me, I'm going to be honest with you folks, you'd have told me about a month ago that Junction City would make it to the semifinals, I'd have been a little shaky on it because this has been a rough season for the Dragons. We'll go back to there was no fall camp, no benefit game, no scrimmage, a 28-day shutdown, various COVID issues. And as you heard Coach Smith say on his show earlier on game night, hey, that's the cards you dealt, you got to play them. Well, Smith and his staff and these Dragons have played them, and here we are in Des Arc, Arkansas, one step away from Little Brock. I'm going to take a 30-second break. When I come back, the voice of the Junction City Dragons on the Dragon Sports Network, Mr. Jacob Pumphrey, with the call between Des Arc and Junction City.
You're looking live at Henson Rollins Field on the western banks of the White River, where tonight Junction City and Des Arc clash in the semifinal round of the Class 2A state playoffs. It's a heavyweight bout with Little Rock on the line, and we've got all the action for you live from start to finish on the Dragon Sports Network. Good evening, I'm Jacob Pumphrey, and I'm in the Eagles Nest here on the home side of Henson Rollins Field, and I'm joined alongside Wayne Pumphrey.
You said a while ago, the weather's right. The field conditions are right. Everything is right. This is what you're a football fan, especially a high school football fan. This is the games you want to see. And I tell you, it never gets old, Jake. Like I said a while ago, it never gets old. And right now, I'm as pumped as I can be, ready for this one to get rolling.
I agree. As the Dragons take the field, Wayne, I tell you what, tonight for Junction City, we've talked about it. You know, Coach Smith, his staff are very pleased with the way the offense has performed, specifically in the playoffs. We always look back to, or we have been, I should say, look back to that Bearden game. Once they got going in that Bearden game, the offense has continued to improve, and it showed last week. Really, this is an Eagle offense that's going to enter tonight, averaging the 3rd most points per game in Class 2A in the state. They've only scored less than 38 points once this year. They're a 12-0 ball club. Dragon defense has got their hands full.
Well, I mean, for Dragon fans, they're probably going, what in the name of Robbie Lowe is going on? Because Coach Lowe, our Wall of Honor defensive coordinator, you know, he prided himself on shutouts. He wanted shutouts. And you look at these last 2 weeks, and Coach Smith, who prides himself on defense too, you're going, you know, what in the world's going on? Well, you heard him say, Jacob, in his coach's show, there's some of these guys on a short leash, nice short stick. If it don't get done, there will be changes. Now, he did not call names, he did not call numbers, and I did not ask. But because we're not going to do that. But you got to understand, if you're not doing what you got to do, I'm putting somebody in there who can.
You're right. He said it in the days leading up. If you got to have a short bench, whether it's the semifinals, quarterfinals, or week 4, then that's what you got to do. We'll see what happens tonight. It's going to be a good one. Fireworks getting us started here at Henson Rollins Field in Des Arc, Arkansas. Like I said, on the western banks of the White River. It's a cool, crisp night. And I tell you what, fireworks to start it, probably fireworks all the way through. Buckle up, folks. You're not going to want to miss a single second of this Class 2A semifinal affair. Junction City to receive the opening kickoff. Gilbert from around his 32-yard line. He's going to be bumped into, and he's going to be brought down at around the 34. So really a short gain there for Junction City, but that's where the Dragons will have it, 1st and 10, as we see from Gabe Richard and company. I tell you what, Richard, a pretty good performance last week from that quarterback position, Wayne.
At 106 yards passing, Jacob, or I believe 111 yards passing. The passes he connected, we definitely needed them. It helped open up the running game, pulling guys out of the box, making them respect Frazier and Gilbert.
Dragons going to be moving right to left. Purple helmets, white jersey, purple pants. Desart green helmets, green jerseys, white pants. Eagles are going to change things up, going to come out in a little bit of a different defensive front. Pistol formation for Junction City. They're going to give to Jamal Johnson. Johnson works right side. He's going to pick up, we'll call it about 4 yards from the top of the press box. It'll bring up a 2nd down and 6 as he moves from the near hash to the far side of the field.
Jacob, real quick, Gilbert, Frazier, they're facing single coverage. Safety is cheating in toward the box. As you've heard us say before, that opens up possibly a either like a slant or a deep route for either one of them.
Johnson again on the carry for the Dragons. Back-to-back totes.
Sets up a 3rd and 2, Jacob. That's where you want to be, 3rd and 2. Probably going to see Johnson again.
Out of the pistol, Johnson set behind Richard, and they get a hard count on the far side, and that's going to do it. Junction City going to pick up the 1st down without having to snap the football as they get the Eagles to jump near side defensive end. Jumped across the line. That's going to push the football up past the 45 to the 46 and will reset the chains for Junction City. 11:03 to play, 1st quarter action. Prairie County. 1st and 10 for Junction City, single receiver. And they're going to spot out pass to Gilbert. He's going to get a big block out there. Gilbert still on his feet. He's got the 1st down. Spun around down across the 40. Pushed out of bounds. Nicely done from Richard to Gilbert. And that was a big block out there on the edge by Junction City.
Jacob, the cushion they're giving them, plus single coverage. Look for Junction City to keep going to that to see if they can get something more out of it.
Peyton Robinson, the senior right tackle, he was out there getting in a man's way. Nicely done. 1st and 10 for Junction City. Back-to-back 1st downs for the Dragons. This time they're going to get to A.J. Ivory. Ivory, he's met in the backfield, nowhere going. Good pursuit there from the Eagle front 7.
And I'm very, if you can tell, folks, number 3, Morton is out there on defense, and he looks shook up already in on that last play. I'm surprised he's playing defense. I figured offense only tonight.
He's one of their leading tacklers. It'll be interesting to see how he plays on the offensive side if he plays. Richard to throw, and it's going to be caught. That's caught by Frazier. He's going to be down inside the 25. They're going to mark him at the 24. Cam Frazier, I tell you what, Richard had to put it in the spot, Wayne, and he did. That was good coverage out there on the edge by number 1. Do not have him on the roster. Could have been picked off. Frazier, good concentration to haul it in.
Indeed, because it was very, very tight spot that he put it in.
Dragons are on the march. Ball at the 24-yard line, going to work near hash. They're going to give to Johnson. He's hitting the backfield. Big-time stick. And Johnson's going to be dropped for a loss of about 3 yards. Coming in to make the tackle, that's Dalton Sears from his defensive tackle position. And I tell you what, Johnson was stopped in his tracks.
Jacob, of course, we're behind the chains now, but it's no doubt that the Eagles' defense, their priority number 1 is Johnson.
2nd and 13, Junction City to throw. Double coverage and out of the reach, just out of the grasp of a diving Devontae Gilbert. Not a bad throw there from Richard, just a tad bit on the other side of Gilbert. He was unable to get to it. I tell you what, he threw it, though, to where if somebody's going to get it, it's only going to be Gilbert.
It's either Gilbert or nobody at all. Good. It's a good throw by Richard. Of course, they didn't connect, but you like how he's looking so far. No doubt, Jacob, 4-down territory.
Incompletion
here
brings up 3rd down and 13. Hard count at the line. They look to the sideline, get the play call. Out of the shotgun, Johnson set to his left. Richard to throw over the middle, and it's picked off. It's picked off at the 17-yard line, and return man still on his feet, and he's going to be hit at around the 40. And so a Junction City drive ends with the first interception of the season thrown by Gabe Richard, and it's going to be Eagle football with 9:30 to play in the opening quarter.
A couple of throws he already had were you was really the one that Frazier caught. It was a tight fit. He got it in there. They're going to have to be careful. He's looking in on a receiver, and he's staying with that one receiver.
Trevion Reed, the sophomore, on the interception for the Eagles. Like you said, Wayne, little zone coverage, didn't see the safety from the top. Reed picked it off, and now the Eagles have the football on their own side of the field from the 39. Going to work near hash, work out of the veer, hard count. That's Morton. He's in at quarterback. Tell you what, you'd probably be hard-pressed to find anybody tougher in the stadium tonight than Luke Morton.
I agree.
Going to bring a man in motion. That's Reed. They give to the fullback right up the gut. And still on his feet, he's across midfield, dragging territory, and that's going to be a big gain on 1st and 10 for the Eagles. He's fired up. That's Jack Carabee, the sophomore. And they're going to spot it, Wayne, at, I believe, the 37-yard line. And that's going to be a 24-yard carry there from Carabee. It's going to be 1st and 10 for the Eagles in Junction City territory.
Well, the Des Arc Eagles love the veer, and they run it to perfection there.
They're going to keep it on the ground. This Eagle offense entered averaging over 365 yards on the ground. They pick up 24 there on their first run from scrimmage. And hitting the backfield, that's a good read there by Tanner Barnett. His second tackle. He brought down Reed on the interception. Going to hear Tanner's name called a lot tonight, leading tackler for this Dragon defense. And that was a quick read there from the linebacker position, and he busted through. And I believe that was Reed. Actually, that was Carabee on the carry for the Eagles.
I believe so.
So
yes.
A loss of 3. It'll bring up a 2nd down and 13. Eagles operate from behind the chains.
And as we mentioned this last week, tonight is extremely important also. Front 7 on the Dragon defense is going to be a key in this game.
Reed, the man in motion. They fake to Carabee, and it's going to be a late pitch. That's Reed. He's going to lower his shoulder, still on his feet, finally pushed out of bounds. I tell you what, Wayne, Morton almost didn't get the ball away, but once he did, Reed knew what to do with it. He picks up a 1st down to reset the chains, and it'll stop the clock momentarily with 8:17 to play in the first quarter.
Well, the Dragon defense should know real quick this bumping them with a shoulder pad will not work.
Will not work.
It will not work.
Des Arc enters at 12-0 on the season. Junction City at 9-2, winners of 7 straight. 1st and 10 for the Eagles. Ball just shy of the 25-yard line. Morton barking out some commands at the line of scrimmage. Carabee behind him in the fullback position. They bring nobody in motion. They're going to give to Carabee. He'll work over left guard. That'll be a solid gain on 1st and 10. I believe they're going to mark him up for 4 yards as he moves down near the red zone, just shy at the 21-yard line. Clock will move under 8 minutes before the next snap. Tell you what, Wayne, it's worth noting, if you're that Dragons, obviously the run is working. Not saying that, but if you're the Dragons secondary, you don't want to get caught sleeping. I understand Morton, obviously he's banged up a little, but that right, as far as I know, he's a right-handed quarterback, so he could still be able to throw. Don't want to get caught off guard. They're going to try to sprint out, and that ball carrier, I believe that's Holloway. Holloway, 5, goal line, touchdown. Holloway in just about untouched, his first touch of the game, and it ends in 6 for the Eagles with 7:38 to play in the opening quarter. I tell you what, Junction City looked a little off kilter there through that entire defensive drive, Wayne.
Well, it won't be long. Coach Smith said short leash, short stick. So if you can't get the job done, he will make replacements. And they're going to have to tighten up. And we mentioned this, especially the last 2 games. You got to tackle. Grabbing up high and shoulder bumping will not get it done tonight.
Especially this late in the season. Lining up to go for 2. And they're going to give to Carabee, and he's got nowhere to go. Good read by Barnett. An additional good read by Ryan Thurkill. So timeout on the field. 7:38 to play in the first quarter. Des Arc 6, Junction City 0. I tell you what, Wayne, the Eagles, they looked pretty impressive as advertised with that offense, which is no surprise what they were going to give us. We've seen this the 3rd year we've played them in a row, I should say. No surprise there. They ran the veer, and it dang near to perfection.
Absolutely. And one thing you were talking about on the passing, of course, they didn't throw there, but the thing about the veer, any wishbone-type offense, if you got a half-decent passing attack, you're going to get perfect opportunities to throw because it lures teams to sleep. You're worried about the run. You're worried about making your reads. You're worried about all that. And next thing you know, they hit you with a big gainer in the passing game.
Eagles kick it off. It'll go out of bounds, so Junction City will have pretty good field position here. 1st down and 10. It was a 71-yard march to pay dirt for Des Arc, and they hold an early advantage over Junction City 6-0 with 7:38 to play in the opening quarter. The Dragons 9-2 on the year. the 2 seed out of the 8-2A runners-up to Fordyce, who is on the road in Clark County tonight to take on number 2 Gurdon, a clash of the top 2 teams in the classification. Des Arc, the champions out of the 6-2A, unbeaten at 12-0, looking to move to 13-0 with a win tonight, and would also obviously punch their ticket to Little Rock. 2 really good games on hand across the state, and we'll definitely do our best to keep you updated on the happenings in Clark County tonight. Gurdon and Fordyce in what, Wayne, I guess you could say a highly anticipated affair.
Yeah, easily highly anticipated.
Junction City after the turnover, back on offense. First down and 10, and they're going to give to Johnson, and he's chased down from behind, bottled up there on the left side, and it allowed the backside defensive player to run around and bring him down. He will gain a yard to bring second down and 9. Ball from the Junction City 48-yard line, spotted at the middle of the field. Right there on the DA logo. Printed in the middle here at Henson Rollins Field. Out of the shotgun, Richard to throw. He's going to look left, throws it up left, and it is incomplete. Very well could have been picked off. He was trying to connect with Cam Frazier. And I said that was number 1. Wayne, is that number 7? Or number 1, it's hard to tell. I believe it's 1.
I believe it's when he turns here, I can tell.
We don't have a jersey number for, or we don't have a roster name
I
for
believe
1 or 7.
It's 1.
But he's got a tall task so far tonight on Cam Frazier, and he's lived up to it. He's doing a good job on Frazier. Dragons to change things up. They'll go twins to the right. Richard sprint out. He's being chased from behind. Throws on the run, incomplete. Well out of the reach of Wisdom Brown. Wisdom did have a step coming across the middle of the field. Richard unable to connect with him. And just like that, it's a quick 3 and out for Junction City. They're going to be forced to punt as they face a 4th down and 9. It was a 1-yard run from Johnson and then back-to-back incompletions. And it's going to bring Christopher Norman out for a punt attempt. Big opportunity here for Junction City. Need to flip the field. Need a good boot here from number 5. He's going to stand it around his 37-yard line. A little bit of a high snap, corrals it. Des Arc looks like they're going to try to set up a return. That's going to hit inside the 25, bounce inside the 20, and roll down to the 15-yard line. It'll be downed by Zach Brown, and that's where the Eagles will have it 1st and 10 with a 6-point lead. 6:52 to play in the first quarter.
Once again, Mr. Norman does an outstanding job. Actually, that punt looked good, and he got the roll with it. Smith, hopefully, we can back him up here. We got him on the 15, keep him there. But Junction's going to have to make a few adjustments, and a couple of guys are going to have to step it up and take care of their position and, make their reads, because we wasn't reading them very well on the veer that first time.
Tell you what, this is an offense, Wayne, when ran as well as Des Arc runs it. If you can get up a couple of scores, it puts some pressure on a defense. And so Junction City, this is a big drive here early on. 6:52 to play, opening quarter. Morton scans the defense. He gets under center. They'll give to Carabee. He'll work over left guard, and that's going to be a good solid gain there on first down. We'll call it 4 yards. Should bring up a 2nd down and 6. They're going to mark him just shy of the 20-yard line. Newberry on the stop for Junction City. Dragons with a tad bit of a size advantage on that defensive front, but Coach Smith talked about it. An offense like this, it's all about angles. It's all about angles and making sure that you get into your block. So size really isn't much of an issue, but you like to see those big defenders for Junction City start making a little more noise. And they fake to Carabee. They're going to run the option, and it is wide open on that left side. DeBose is chasing down, and he's going to be able to tackle him. That is a great open field tackle. Reed was able to get a hand on DeBose, but DeBose is going to bring down Holloway. And I tell you what, that was a good read there from Morton. He had the pitch out. He had the pitch out to Holloway, Wayne, and it was a big gain.
Well, great blocking by the Eagles on that side to seal it. Plus, nobody even thought to pick up the pitch man. The trailer.
Everybody crashed inside on the fake to Carabee. Nobody was left out there on the edge. 1st and 10, the Eagles moved the football into Dragon territory at the 49-yard line. And they're going to give to Carabee. He'll power up the middle. Cam Torrance on the tackle, but Carabee's going to move down inside the 45 to the 44-yard line, so a 5-yard carry from the sophomore Jack. And I tell you what, Wayne, this Carabee, he didn't really take over a full-time role at fullback until around week 5. So he's I want to say new, but as a sophomore, I mean, he doesn't really have too many. He doesn't have a full season under his belt, so to speak, playing that fullback position, but he sure as heck looks like he does.
I tell you what, he's a hard runner, there's no doubt, and he's doing a good job at hitting the hole and moving it.
2nd down and 5, Reed in motion. They fake to Caribou. That's a good read there from Tate Barnett. Nobody there to get Reed, and Reed is going to get inside the 15, 10, 5, and he's going to score. He is going to score. Touchdown, Des Arc. And it is 12-0 with 4:56 to play in the opening quarter. And I tell you what, they're getting loose on that veer, Wayne. And I tell you what, they're doing a really good job of creating some running lanes. And I tell you what, it all starts with Morton. Has a good pitch to Reed. Reed made a couple of men miss, and he was off for the races.
Nobody, like I said, they got on the pitch man then.
And that's what you got to do. You've got to do your job, not somebody else's.
But again, the trailer, no one got him till it was too
very late.
Yeah,
it was very late.
And when he made his cut, it was a foot race.
12-0. Des Arc lining up to go for 2. Officials come in momentarily to stop the start of the play. I believe they were waiting for the play clock to reset. So give the signal from the white hat, and they'll line up here. Dragons stopped the Eagles on the first 2-point try. Would definitely be good if they could do it here. Going to bring Holloway in motion. They'll pitch to Holloway, and he's going to maneuver himself inside. Good running there from Ian Holloway. Timeout on the field, 4:56 to play in the opening quarter. The Eagles up 2 touchdowns on the Dragons. We're back in 30 on the DSN. The Dragons trying to pick themselves up off the mat here early from Henson Rollins Field. And again, the corner kick's going to go out of bounds, and Junction City will have pretty good field position here for their 3rd offensive drive of the game. Wayne, the previous time they had the football, it was a 1-yard run, back-to-back incompletions, and then a punt.
They're going to have to get the offense settled and get going. There's no doubt they are targeting Jamal Johnson. And I would. After the 2 games he's had, yeah, he's going to be my interest. He's going to be the focal point. And, you know, Coach Pascal, when we talked to him out there, even brought up asking about Johnson, was asking questions about him. So you know they've been studying him, and it's showing right now. So you're going to have some more people step it up. That offensive line is going to have to start getting on some bodies.
1st and 10 for Junction City from the 44. They give to Johnson. He follows behind a couple of blocks. Patient running there from Jamal. Going to be a good solid pickup on 1st down. He'll be just shy of the 50-yard line. Mark him at the Dragon 49. Be a 5-yard carry for Johnson, who for the first time this year, last week, donned that famous number 3 in the Dragon program. Clock will move under 4:30 before the next snap. 2nd down and 5 for Junction City. Richard out of the pistol. Single receiver to each side. And they're going to get to Johnson. This time he'll work left side. He lowers his shoulder, still on his feet, spins out of a tackle. Good hard run there from Jamal Johnson. He moves down into Eagle territory, pick up a 1st down. That's what we need to see out of number 3, Wayne.
A good solid run. Had a little bit of a hold to work, Jacob, and he went through it. Like you said, some good patient running. When he made his move, he has a good enough acceleration, and then hard running after that.
1st and 10, Junction City moving quickly. They give to A.J. Ivory. Ivory, the big fella, he moves forward with a full head of steam. Sorry for the pause there. Was wanting to see. I thought he might have stayed on his feet. Clock's going to move under 4 minutes. Pushes the football down inside the 35 at around the 33-yard line.
Keep doing what you're doing.
They're going to motion Wisdom and Tate over to the left. They move Tate back to the right. Going to work out of the pistol. A little misdirection here. They give to Johnson, and he's still on his feet. Thought he might have went down on first contact. They're going to give him forward progression. Des Arc came away with the football.
Well, forward progression had been stopped. The whistle should have already been blown.
And it was. It had been blown. But I tell you what, there's a big crowd on hand, especially on the Des Arc side.
It's such a big crowd over here. They got their band on the visitor side, and you can see them across the way there.
3rd down and 1 here, Junction City at the 33-yard line of the Eagles. They give to Johnson. He spins forward. And I tell you what, that spin move has been working well here through the last couple of weeks of the season, Wayne. He's able to spin their initial contact. It gets him across the 1st down marker. And then also he is able to pick up a couple more yards as they spot him down at the 26.
And what you need, Jacob, like I said, keep doing what you're doing. Get settled down here. Just keep pushing it.
2:45, 2:44, clock running. They give to Johnson again. His number's been called a lot on this drive. He's still running. It's hard running from Jamal Johnson. That's going to be a tough 2 yards he just picked up. Should have been probably brought down in the backfield.
We got offensive linemen standing around. Somebody needs to get on a body. You ain't got to have a good, solid block. Just get in the man's way. And Johnson can do the rest.
You're right, he can do the rest. You're looking at number big 58 out there, Adonis Jones, one of those seniors on that offensive line. I think he's getting into a couple of younger guys and then telling them what they need to do. Johnson, he carries forward. Forward progression will slow him after a 2-yard gain, so it should bring up a 3rd down, and we'll call it a long 5 here. Well, actually, tell you what, the angle kind of got me there. It's actually probably about 3rd and 7.
Yeah, call it 3rd and 7. And got 1:55 left here in the first quarter clock running, Jacob. Just it's 4-down territory. We know that. Do what you're going to do.
Fast-moving opening 12 minutes. Ivory in the backfield. Junction City to throw, and that's too high over the grasp of Corey DeBose. And so Richard looks to the sideline. He's a little still trying to figure things out. They look to the sideline to get the play. It'll stop the clock 1:42. And I tell you what, Wayne, you got a team like Des Arc that likes to run the football. That clock's going to continue to run. Junction City likes to keep it on the ground a good bit as well. The only time it's really stopped has been because of the Dragon incompletions.
If it continues like this, you're going to have a fast play game, which Des Arc would love.
4th down and 7 for the Dragons. Single receiver to each side, and they're going to get DeBose on a false start, and so that's not going to help things. That's going to put Junction City back behind the original line of scrimmage, so should bring up a 4th and 12 with 1:39 to play here in the opening quarter. Des Arc 14, Junction City 0. See what the Dragons got hit in the mouth twice there on the Eagles' first 2 drives of the game, specifically after that interception on the opening offensive stanza for Junction City. They've definitely got the momentum here at Henson Rollins Field. Class 2A state semifinals. 6th meeting all time between these two programs, the first time they've ever tangled here in Prairie County. 4th and 12, Dragons going for it. Gonna throw here. Richard chased out of the pocket, nowhere to go, and he's going to fall down at around the 44-yard line, and that's where he's going to give them the football. That's where he will give them the football at the 44-yard line. Actually, they're going to say around the 42-yard line. That's a friendly spot for the Dragons. Which the way the Des Arc offense is working, I don't know if 2 yards is really going to matter here at the moment. 93 seconds to play here in the opening quarter. And if you're Junction City, you're going to need a big stop here defensively, because if you get behind 3 scores to a team that likes to keep the football on the ground, especially early on, obviously there's a lot of football left to play, but it's going to put even more pressure on that Dragon offense.
You hate to say, well, 1:33 to go in the first quarter, you got a critical possession here, but you do. And the Dragon defense is going to have to step it up, because right now Des Arc's rolling, especially on offense. The defense is doing its job.
Morton scans the defense. And he's going to give to Caribbean. Caribbean straight ahead. He's going to pick up 3 yards. And I tell you what, that offense really firing on all cylinders when Caribbean can get him a good gain there on 1st down. He's picked up no less than 3 every time he's touched it on 1st and 10, Wayne.
We talk about it all the time. If you can come out and get 4, 5, 6 yards on 1st down, it opens up your playbook even more. Hey, what do you want to do here? You want to just keep pounding it? Or we can afford to do a little rollout here or something. It opens up your playbook, and it makes it that much harder for the defense to focus on what you're trying to do.
Final 60 seconds here in the opening quarter. 2nd down and 7 for the Eagles. Morton changing the play at the line of scrimmage. And they're going to give to Caribbean. He's going to work up the middle. He's got a 1st down as he moves into Dragon territory down to the 42-yard line. So Des Arc moving the football at will against this Dragon defense. And Coach Smith said it. He was not happy with the way the Dragons have performed defensively the last 2 weeks. In fact, they gave up over 220 yards on the ground last week at Powen. But the thing about this offense is they're going to get their yards, but when it comes time to get them off the yard on third down, you've got to be able to do it. Clock's going to move under 30 seconds. First down and 10 for the Eagles. About the 42-yard line of Junction City. Reed in motion. They fake to Kirby. Morton's going to keep it. He's going to be popped at the 46-yard line. That was a good tackle there from Devontae Gilbert. Because if Morton can make Gilbert miss, he had a little bit of real estate there in front of him, Wayne.
Very good tackle by Gilbert, especially, like you said, he's kind of on that island by himself for a moment there with Morton, and Morton is known as a solid, hard runner. Great job.
And he's toughing it out tonight. They're going to walk off the field here as the first quarter comes to an end. Timeout on the field. We've played 12 minutes. Des Arc 14, Junction City 0. We're back in 30 on the Dragon Sports Network. "12 minutes in the books, 12 minutes left to play here in the first half from Henson Rollins Field. 14-0 is our score. Des Arc on top of Junction City. They're going to flip the field, Wayne. It'll be a 2nd down and 9 for the Eagles. And like you said it moments ago, you don't want to say there's a critical possession here, early second quarter. But with the way this offense is ran, you can find yourself up 3 scores. You're feeling pretty good about yourself.
You got to. The first quarter, the best way to put it was all Des Arc. We moved the ball a little, but we have nothing to show for it.
Yeah.
Turnovers and turnover on downs. Then you get on
and a punt.
And you get on defense, and they're gashing us. I mean,
Yeah.
They're doing a great job. And you mentioned it's all about angles. We're going to get into that a little bit and talk about why the veer is all about angles.
First play of the second quarter, 2nd down and 9. Morton under center. And they're going to it's going to be a trap play here, and it's going to be wrapped up by Barnett. He's going to be slung to the ground, and they're going to throw a flag here at around the 40-yard line. Probably going to be a personal foul penalty on Barnett. He was talking with the official that threw the flag, and that's what it is. So they're going to mark it off from the 40. Should put him at the 25-yard line. Actually, I guess they'll mark it from the 41, so put him at the 26. And so it would have been just a gain of around about 3 yards, which would have brought up a big 3rd down, but instead it's going to reset the chains and put the football at the 26-yard line. So Des Arc with a 2-score lead, looking for more here with 11:53 to play in the first half. And they're going to fake. Morton fakes the pitch. Now he's going to pitch it to Reed. He's going to take it. Johnson's going to tackle him as he moves down inside the 20. Good pursuit there from Jamal Johnson. But I tell you what, that's a heck of a pitch there from Morton, Wayne. I tell you what, he'd already moved upfield 3 or 4 yards, and then he finally pitched it to Reed. Good pitch, in fact. But I'd say a better tackle from Jamal Johnson because Reed easily gets to the end zone if Johnson doesn't bring him down from behind.
Great tackle by Johnson and a great – you just saw how you run the veer right there.
That's it, and that's why he's so important to this offense and why he's got there gutting it out tonight. Obviously, you can tell he's got some type of a brace on that left arm. Clock moves under 11 minutes to play, second quarter action. 2nd down and 3. And good pursuit there from Junction City. Cam Torrance making the stop. It was Norman that forced Holloway back inside. I tell you what, Wayne, seeing that Holloway name, you got to think he probably had some older brothers or maybe even some cousins that have had their fair share of meetings with Junction City over the past couple of years.
You ran into one back in 08 on Holloway. Nathan, is that right? That sound right?
I believe. Though, definitely heard his name called a lot over that War Memorial loudspeaker as he was
more than you wanted to.
Yeah, making plays all night. 3rd down and 3. Big 3rd down here for both teams. They're going to give to Kirby. He's going to plow forward. He's going to be awfully close to the 1st down marker, and I believe he might have gotten it. Head over to the Clean Team Pro Wash Scoreboard for an update from Clark County. Gurdon 7, Fordyce 0. That one's in the 2nd quarter. So the Go Devils with a lead at home, a first half lead at home against the defending state champion Redbugs. So a 1st down resets the chains. Clock's going to move under 9:50 to play. That's what I was talking about, Wayne. That clock just continues to move. Des Arc in no hurry with a 2-score lead and the ball in the red zone.
Oh, you watch, they're going to snap it under 5 seconds every time now.
And they're going to fake. They're going to pitch to Holloway, and he's going to be tripped up. Nobody was there. He just lost his footing as he neared the 15-yard line. Actually going to give him the 14. A little bit of a generous spot. So bring 2nd down and 9 here as the clock moves near the 9:20 mark.
Well, with the veer, you have to defend every single.
Yeah, you have to respect every movement.
Guy,
yeah, exactly.
Trailer the whole 9 yards. You have to respect it.
And if somebody tries to help out when they shouldn't, that's when you usually see the big gains. They're going to bring Reed in motion. They're going to not give to Kirby. Morton's going to keep it, and he's going to be tripped up and popped it around the 10-yard line. So a good job by Luke Morton to keep his feet. Picks up a couple more, and it's going to make it a little bit more manageable of a 3rd down here for the Eagles. Ball going to be spotted at the 9-yard line. Bring up a 3rd down and 4.
And Jacob, I was just thinking here, I do not believe they attempted a pass yet.
They have not, and there's no need to.
No, there's no need to, but
2 possession lead with the football and the clock running. And a little miscommunication in the backfield. Morton's going to try to get to the pylon, and he's in. He's in. Morton dives to the pylon, and he is in for the touchdown. 20-0 is our score. Luke Morton, a little bit of it looked like miscommunication in the backfield, but it might have been designed that way.
I believe it was designed.
He sprinted out to the left, got the pylon. And I tell you what, he dove on that left arm, too. I tell you what, and got up and was absolutely pumped up about it. So, it's all adrenaline for Luke Morton here tonight. And it's 20-0. Junction City continues. I don't even want to say they've actually picked themselves up off the mat at this point, Wayne.
They are best way to put it, they're gashing us, especially on the to the outside when they run a trailer. We're not picking up on the trailer. If we do, we get too much help over there. And like you said, you have to, in the veer, you have to read your assignments. If you're assigned to the dive guy, you're assigned to the dive guy. If you're assigned to the trailer, you're assigned to the trailer.
And it's going to be a pitch out to Holloway, and he is going to force himself across the goal line. Timeout on the field, 8:13 to play here in the first half. It's all Des Arc over Junction City, 22-0. We're back in 30 on the DSN. Welcome back to Henson Rollins Field. The home side's fired up. Not much noise on the far side of the field as Junction City finds themselves down 22 points here with 8:13 to play in the first half. I tell you what, Wayne, we knew this Des Arc offense was electric, and obviously add the exploits of Luke Morton in at quarterback. He's also playing on the defensive side of the football tonight too, playing with a bum left arm. And I tell you what, they have not missed a beat. Junction City a little bit shell-shocked. They're going to have to find a way to dig themselves out of this hole.
Right now, the Des Arc offense, defense, they are clicking on all cylinders. Everything's going good. Junction has moved the ball some, but they're not finishing. Turnovers, had to punt on one of them, and you're in a shootout, and right now you're not doing much shooting. It's not looking good. So you got the first thing you got to do is, okay, we got to regroup. We got plenty of time. What do we do first? We get the ball, we move it, we get some points on the board. Then we turn and worry about what we're going to do on defense.
Exactly. You got to score. It doesn't matter if you find a way to stop them. You're already down 3 scores. And so that is going to bounce. Somebody's got to get on the football, and they finally do. The up back there. Tell you what, Spooner's going to have to get on that football. Gilbert allowed it to bounce as well. Both of them are going to have to communicate a tad bit better because of a little bit more speed there on that Des Arc kickoff line, and that would have been Eagle football. And if you thought the tides had turned now, just what would have happened if they'd have took over in Dragon territory with a 3-point lead, or excuse me, a 3-possession lead. Junction City heads back out offensively. First and 10 for the Dragons. Ball at the 45-yard line. Going to work off the near hash. They give to Johnson. Nowhere to go in the backfield. Still on his feet, and that's going to be a pickup of around, we say, Wayne, 3 yards, and that was every bit of Jamal Johnson's 3 yards there.
That was it. It was him because 4 linemen were standing there looking back at him, and he should have lost 3 yards. He ends up picking up 3. So at least you kept it positive. You kept it a 2nd and 7.
Ball spotted at the 48-yard line of Junction City. And they're going to give to Johnson. He'll work beside 2 backs. Johnson's going to get to the outside. 40, 35, 30. He's got 1 man to beat, and he'll finally wrestle him and take him down out of bounds. But Johnson, they're going to mark him down at the 22. Thought he might have moved into the red zone, but a big-time run there from Jamal Johnson. That's going to be a gain of 31 yards. It'll reset the chains. And I tell you what, Wayne, Johnson, he's over a dozen carries so far tonight.
Has to be. He has to be.
And they tell you, once you wear that number 3, you got to be expected to tote the load. And, well, he's toting the load tonight. Des Arc calls a timeout. They'll talk things over after the biggest offensive play of the night so far for Junction City. We'll step aside for 30 seconds. Back with more action here in the Class 2A state semifinals. The 58th play of 20 or more yards for Junction City this season. It was a 31-yard run by Jamal Johnson. It has the Dragons set up on the outside porch, so to speak, of the purple zone. At the 22-yard line, they'll work from the far hash. 7:35 to play, first half action. Junction City trailing 22-0. They're looking to find the end zone for the first time tonight. Richard going to work out of the pistol formation. Ivory joins him in the backfield. His number's called here on 1st and 10. AJ up the gut. 10-5. Touchdown. Junction City. A little life from the Dragons. And they find the scoreboard here with 7.5 to play before the intermission.
Just what the doctor ordered, because you were ailing big time. You need some medicine. And there it is right there. Now get this 2. We kick off.
And then, like you said, then you worry about what happens on the defensive side of the football. Exactly.
Get the 2 now.
A 22-yard run from A.J. Ivory. He'll get the carry on the stretch run over to the left side. He is in untouched. Timeout on the field. 7.5 to play before the halftime break. 22-8. Des Arc on top, but the Dragons find the end zone. We're back in 30 on the DSN. A 31-yard run from Jamal Johnson. Had a 22-yard carry from A.J. Ivory. Ivory adds the 2-point try. And Junction City finds the scoreboard for the first time tonight. They still trail the Eagles 22-8 with 7.5 to play here in the first half. Jacob Pumphrey alongside Wayne Pumphrey and Denton Ashcraft from Henson Rollins Field in Prairie County. Just off the western banks of the White River, a very crisp, cool night here in Des Arc. The first time the Dragons have played the Eagles in their nest, so to speak. And Richard has things teed up. Big special teams play here for Junction City would definitely help get it back in the game. They're going to onside kick here. Ball's on the ground, and it is going to go out of bounds. Junction City unable to get somebody on that side of the field. Not a bad idea at all. It's only going to really surrender probably about 6 yards from where it would have gone with a good corner kick. So, I mean, I don't blame them at all for taking the shot, but man, oh man, they almost had an opportunity there to come away with the football. I tried to speak it into existence, Wayne. Just wasn't happening there on that onside kick attempt.
Hey, I understand. Anything's worth a shot right now.
Hey, semifinal football, Little Rock on the line. You got to pull out all the stops.
Every one of them.
1st and 10, Junction City's going to need to find a way to stop Des Arc. They've been unable to do it so far tonight. Trail by 14, Eagle football, 1st and 10 from their own 45. Dragons playing with 8 in the box, and that's going to be Caribbean. He'll carry forward for around 3 yards. I believe they'll mark him at the 48-yard line. 3-yard gain, 2nd down and 7. And you'll probably starting to see this a little bit more, Wayne. Des Arc in no hurry.
That's what I'm watching, Jacob. I'm just curious to see where they're taking the snap at the moment. And some people might say, well, it's too early to do that. No, right now, your offense is used to that type of ball. So,
and Junction hasn't proven that they can stop them yet.
Absolutely.
So you've kind of been at will. They give to Caribbean. He'll work up the middle, and Caribbean's going to carry a man all the way down into Dragon territory at the 46-yard line. It was Cam Torch that hopped on for a ride. He made contact about 4 yards ahead of where Caribbean, where he ended up. But credit the sophomore there for being able to, he almost picked up the first down, Wayne.
Going about a yard short, maybe a little less than a yard. That last snap, Jacob, I was watching, came with 6 seconds left on the play clock. And again, like I said, they're not going to get in a rush here. You can't blame them.
And Morton, he's in the backfield. He's wrapped up and dropped. He's not going to get the first down. It was Torrance that just comes screaming in.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was a called play or if he just called his own number. I'm not saying he's called his own number, but that definitely disrupted things in the backfield. So it's 4th and 1.
I think he did, Jacob. And he was coming hard, and a good move on his part.
4th and 1 from the Dragon 46.
And that's
not what you need right there.
That is absolutely.
That is not what you need.
You just gave him the first
down.
You didn't even. It was great a while ago. You've done it.
You didn't even give yourself a chance.
It's like they were waiting on it this time.
Yeah, you didn't give yourself a chance. Yeah. You got to give yourself a chance, and that was.
Got to play smarter.
Yeah, that was not the case there. 5:38 to play. First half action, 22-8. Clock starts on the officials' command. So Des Arc going to look to the sideline. They look to their wrist, almost in sync there. They all look to their wrist to get the play call. Morton talking to both sides of his offensive line. They give to Caribbean. He's right up the gut. Caribbean 20, 15. He's going to be wrapped up by DeBose. Good job. Good thing he was there, because if not, Caribbean would have scored easily.
I don't know what you do, but you have got the front line is getting blown out of the way. And the linebackers are trying to make the play. You got Cam trying to come on a just all-out blitz. And you got to do something with the defensive line, because right now Des Arc is just absolutely winning the battle.
Yeah, they're having their way with Junction City. Clock's going to move under 5 minutes. And Caribbean, he goes straight ahead. He's nowhere to go. Good job there up front by Junction City. That's Adonis Jones.
Barnett.
And Tate comes around from the backside to make the stop. Chris Norman in on the tackle as well. Tell you what, you see Morton trying to get Junction City with the hard count, but the Dragons are a little bit gassed right now. I don't think the hard count would work from the standpoint that they're just, you lost a little bit of that edge.
Yep.
Because Des Arc's having their way with them offensively. Clock's going to move under 4:15 before the next snap. Des Arc by 14, looking to add more. They're inside the 15. They're going to give to Caribbean. He goes forward on 2nd down and 9. Really not much there, maybe a yard. Should bring up a 3rd down and 8. That was Tanner on the stop for the Dragons. Junction City will make a change on that defensive front. Jakarian Barnett, he'll check into the ball game.
You need a big play on defense here.
Yeah, you do. 3rd down and 8. Clock will tick under 3:35. Morton scans the defense, brings a man in motion, and they're actually going to sprint out and throw it. Nowhere to go. Good read there. Tate Barnett, he's going to sack Morton. And that's the play you just said, Wayne. They need a big play. I tell you what, there was a Dragon on the far side of the field that jumped, but he must not have crossed the line of scrimmage, because if he had, I thought there was flags, but there was none called. He must not have jumped across, or into the neutral zone, I should say. So now it's going to bring up a 4th down and 18 for the Eagles. That was the first pass attempt of the game for Des Arc. Clock moves under 3 minutes to play here in the first half. 22-8 is our score. They're going to bring Reed in motion. They give to Caribbean. Actually, no, they're going to give to Holloway, and he's going to be wrapped up as he crosses down inside the 15. Ball's on the ground, and they're actually going to spot it back to the 17, so Holloway lost the football. It won't matter. It's a turnover on downs, and, Wayne, that's the stop that Junction City needed.
Well, they got the big play on 3rd down, then you finish it off there on 4th down. And let me say this, that was a good call by Des Arc run. I mean, that's been their bread and butter, and it hadn't been taking them much to pop it. Now, you just made your stop. Let's drive down the field and get some more points.
2:40 to play. Dragons with 3 timeouts. A couple big runs on their previous drive helped them find the end zone. We'll see if they can replicate that here. They give to hard to tell which one that is. I believe that's Ivory.
Let's see.
Actually, that's Johnson.
Johnson.
Jamal Johnson on the carry.
He comes up a little gimp.
Yeah, well, I actually saw that on the big run, the 31-yard run on the previous drive. He takes his spot behind Richard, and it's going to be a stretch give to Jamal Johnson. He'll work over right side. So after a 6-yard carry, he's going to move up to around probably just shy of the 27-yard line, and that's going to be a 1st down run for Jamal Johnson. Back-to-back carries for number 3. It'll reset the chains. Clock will stop momentarily with 2:09 to play. And the Dragons with the football at their own 27-yard line. Moving left to right. They're going to work off the near hash. Richard scans the defense. Junction City to throw. Richard, he's going to lob one up left side. Frazier. And incomplete. We do have flags. A flag falls on the field at the 42-yard line of Des Arc. Actually, he's going to pick the flag up. Now he's running to the white hat. And they're going to converse. Now he's going to converse with, I believe, with the umpire. Umpire's facing. He looks like he's going to walk right, Wayne, from the left to right. Well, at one point it did, but. So, defensive pass interference on the Eagles. It'll benefit Junction City. I'm sorry for the pause there, folks. We were trying to figure out where the line judge was heading. Or, the umpire. They're going to put the football at the 42-yard line. So a 15-yard defensive pass interference makes it a 1st and 10 for the Dragons. 1:53 to play before the intermission. And they're going to give to A.J. Ivory. He follows behind a couple of blocks. He's tripped up in the backfield. And it's going to be a minimal gain. They may give him a yard, Wayne. It's going to be tough.
Yeah.
They'll give him a yard. So 2nd and 9 now. The clock's going to move under 136, 135. It's ticking. 3 timeouts for the Dragons. They hurry to the line of scrimmage. 2 receivers to the top of the formation. Richard out of the pistol. Scans the defense. Stretch give right side, A.J. Ivory. He gets to the corner. He's going to be close to the midfield stripe, but a flag comes in from the white hat, and that's going to be holding. That's going to be holding. That's really the only call that can be made from there. So the Dragons benefit on the defensive pass interference, but the offensive holding is going to back them up. So 2 steps forward, about an equal 2 steps back. And so after back-to-back penalties, it's really only going to be ball's at the 32-yard line. So 7 yards is the difference. 15 yards and then a 10. 5 yards is the difference. As the ball moves from the 27 to the 32. 1:16 to play. Junction City with 3 timeouts. But they're well behind the chains here on second down. Second down and 20. They motion Johnson out of the backfield. They take the snap, and it's going to be complete out to Gilbert. And Gilbert still on his feet. He's going to get the sideline, still running, and he's going to be popped out of bounds. That was a big hit out there on the edge. But fortunately for Gilbert, he does get out of bounds. So that will stop the clock with 1:05 to play. Nice little play design there. They used Johnson as a blocker and threw the spot pass out to Gilbert.
And picked up a chunk of yardage, Jake.
Yeah, that was 2nd and 20. That's going to make it, I'd say, 3rd and 4. So a 16-yard completion there from Richard to Gilbert, his second catch of the game. He's got 2 receptions for 32 yards. And 3rd down and 4. And they give to Johnson. Johnson's going to bounce it out left side, and he's going to get out of bounds. A smart run there from Jamal Johnson.
Very good run.
He's out of bounds at the, I believe they're going to spot him at the 42-yard line. So they're going to work off the far hash. 59 seconds to play. Clock stops after that first down run from Jamal Johnson. Junction City still with 3 timeouts to work with. They move the football down into Eagle territory. And it's going to be the pitch out to, that's going to be Johnson. It's going to be about a 2-yard gain down to the 40-yard line. And 51, 50, 49. Clock continues to run. Junction City with 3 timeouts has yet to elect to use one. Dragons going to have to hurry at the line of scrimmage. 38, 37. 2nd down and 8 for Junction City. They give to Johnson. He moves behind 2 guys. He's got nowhere to go. Best to just go down and save some time.
Yeah.
Call a timeout. And they're going to call a timeout. They lose, we'll say, around 3 on 2nd and 8. Should bring up a 3rd down and 11. The Dragons are going to call a timeout with 27 seconds. We'll step aside back in 30 on the DSN.
Amen.
Welcome back to Henson Rollins Field. Coming out of the timeout, Junction City with 2 remaining here in the half, but with only 27 seconds to work with. They're trying to cut into that 14-point deficit. It's worth noting, Wayne, the Eagles will get the football coming out of the halftime break, so it is that puts even more pressure on Junction City to find the end zone here before they step aside for a couple of minutes.
Absolutely. You desperately need to get a score here. It helps big time. You go in with some momentum.
Let's see what the Dragons have dialed up here on 3rd down and 11. You got to think it's 4-down territory.
Yeah, definitely.
Richard out of the pistol. Play action fake. He's going to throw left. He's got Frazier in and out of his hands. He had it. Ball was right there, placed very well by Gabe Richard. Frazier unable to haul it in. He would have had to take about 2 or 3 steps as he made his way into the end zone. It'll bring up 4th down and 11, stops the clock with 21 seconds to play here in the second quarter. 22-8 is our score.
Give Richard credit. Excellent throw.
Oh, he put it on the money. He put it on the money where only his guy could get there. His guy had a chance, but unable to execute. 4th down and 11. And a little trickeration here. The old flea flicker off the reverse. Richard, he's being chased from behind. There is a flag on the play. Pass is incomplete. It will be a hold. Either that or an ineligible man downfield. It'll depend on the spot. Regardless, it'll be Des Arc football with 11 seconds left. And now you turn your attention to making sure that they don't pull the old rabbit out of the hat, Wayne, and find a way to add points here before the break.
Best thing, be alert here because, with a 14-point lead, one of 2 things. Hey, we're satisfied. Let's go in the locker room. We're getting the ball to start the second half. Or, you know what? It's been going our way.
Yeah.
Let's take a shot.
And with
the penalty, Okay,
Well, they decline it to get the football.
Okay,
Yeah, they decline it to get the football. So with 11 seconds to play and a 14-point lead, it'll be interesting to see if they try to dial something up here. If you're Junction City, you have got to keep a green jersey in front of you.
Well, we got to get some guys off the field. We got guys standing there just looking around.
As much as we want to play with 14, they're not going to let us do it tonight.
I don't think they will.
Which, with the way the Eagles are executing on offense, I don't even know if 14 would be enough.
They are. They have, and we'll get in that halftime.
Very impressive.
They are running that
Very
field.
impressive.
Yes, indeed.
1st and 10 for Des Arc. Morton makes some changes at the line of scrimmage. Scans his wrist. They're going to bring Reed in motion, and he'll move back. They're going to fake now, and nowhere to go. Good job there from Tate Barnett. Morton looked like he was trying to toss it out to Holloway. He takes a big hit from Tate Barnett, and that's going to do it. 2 quarters of action are in the books. We've got 2 more left to play. 22-8, Des Arc by 14. We're back in 2 minutes on the Dragon Sports Network. Welcome back to Henson Rollins Field on the western banks of the White River, and it has been an eventful first half. If you are a fan of Junction City, probably not the events that you would hope would have taken place through the first 24 minutes of action. Des Arc 22, Junction City 8. Wayne, missed opportunity there for Junction City before the half to hopefully find the end zone to cut into that deficit, knowing that obviously Des Arc's going to get the football to start the second half.
Well, here's what it hurts. You said missed opportunity. Let me take it back a step. Missed opportunities. You had some in the first quarter. We moved the ball. We didn't look bad moving it. Now, we've had problems on defense. Well, out of 24 minutes of ball, I'd say just about 22. But here's the thing, and this is what you look at. You're down 22-8. You're down 2 scores. You're capable of coming back. You proved that 2 weeks ago.
Oh, there's no doubt.
You proved that 2 weeks ago. So, well, Wayne, what do you do? Okay, first thing first. It's time for the seniors to take a look at each other and look at their teammates, because this is it for them. Last time you putting on that Dragon uniform.
That's right.
And, hey, y'all, we got to kick it in gear. You said it yourself. We're looking a little too nonchalant there. I'm not saying you're pushing the emergency button, go code red, oh, my gosh, we're in trouble. But you step it up. You don't try to get it all back. We got to get it all back right now. No. Des Arc's going to get the ball started second half.
It's one drive at a time.
It's one drive at a time. Shut them down. You're capable of moving the ball. Now, there's no more excuses. Passes that can be caught, they got to be caught. Blocks that need to be made, got to be made. Tackles got to be tackled. You got to do it. And, I mean, that's just all there is to it. It sounds like, well, okay, there's the answer. Yeah, it's easy for an old guy like me to say it.
Yeah.
But they got to do it.
They're not running the veer up here in the press box.
No, we're not running it up here. And Jacob, speaking of the veer, you mentioned earlier, we talked about the size Junction had on the line and how they're moving them. And you said, remember with the veer, it's all about angles. We had an outstanding line coach at Junction City when I first started helping David Carter named Bill Kennedy. He was also the head baseball coach. Coach Kennedy never played football, but he was an algebra teacher. What do you think he told? If you go and look at the 01, 02, 03 Dragons, it wasn't like we were walking NFL-sized linemen out there.
There wasn't no corn-fed boys
I mean,
on there.
Roscoe and Snakebite were not exactly mountain men, but they were taught by Coach Kennedy angles. This is
leverage.
Leverage. This is how you move that guy.
Moving your feet, firing off the football.
They did a pretty good job of it, didn't they? Well, yeah. His senior year, Brandon Carter, 1,767 yards, 32 rushing touchdowns. They were popping holes open for him to fly through along with Perry Williams. You remember High Five Perry?
That's it.
Yeah, the thing is this. Those guys were opening up holes, and you look at our linemen, you go, y'all are doing it with that size? And that's something we've always went with. Coach Kennedy, like I said, never played it down in football, but it was all about leverage. Okay, let's equate it to tonight's game. Des Arc. You look what they're doing. They are sealing off. They're making the moves. They're doing an outstanding job of blocking, of running that veer. Morton, you see why he's critical to them. That young man is doing an outstanding job running this veer, and it's like we have never seen one before. And you know what? We haven't seen one run this good. And it's like Coach Smith told me when we get ready to interview him for game night. We know what they're going to do. It's no secret.
Oh, no, that's it.
And that's a big compliment to Des Arc. We know what they're going to do.
But can you stop it?
Can you stop it? I mean, not too far from here, there's a place called Wynn. 27 Trap, Don Campbell. They had T-shirts made with the diagram of the play on the T-shirt. And it said on there, you know what's coming. Can you stop it?
And most of the time.
That's going to be the second half of Junction
That's exactly
City.
right.
You know what's coming. You got to stop it. So that's the first thing. The next thing, let's get some continuity on offense. We're going to have to go to some other people because they are looking for number 3. I think when he's not on the field, they're over there, where's he standing? I want somebody on the field watching him at all times.
Exactly.
And they're doing a good job. Here's on their defense of containing 3 for the most part. Now, he's broke loose a couple times, but nothing to damage them. So we're going to either have to get Ivory going or Frazier and Gilbert are going to have to haul in some passes and start getting this offense clicking. Rashard's going to have to make some plays. And that's what we're looking at. And let me ask you this. Your senior year, your junior year, you know how things were when y'all were in a situation. What do? You turn to your seniors and you say, guys, lead the way. Let's go. We're 1 step away from Little Rock. Right now, we're 2 big steps away. Because we got to get 2 scores to tie this thing up. Then we go from there. You look to your seniors for help.
That's exactly right. Those guys are the ones. I mean, this senior class is looking to do something that hasn't really been done too many times in the state of Arkansas, and that's regardless of classification.
Yes.
They're trying to get to Little Rock for the 4th consecutive season, and like I said, that's almost unheard of. Regardless of how you fared in Little Rock, just to get to the dance, tough enough, Yeah. But to do it in consecutive years, trying to make it the 4th straight year, Wayne, you're looking at your seniors. If I'm Coach Smith and I'm Coach and his staff, you're going to have some. You're going to talk to. You got to make some adjustments. That's obvious. You got to make some adjustments. You got to figure out how you're going to go from here. Maybe some offensive plans, drawing some things up, talking over some things on defense. But they're going to come a while where it's going to get quiet, and you're going to look around, and you're going to be looking at seniors. You're going to be looking at 18 and 47. You're going to be looking at some of those other guys, Big Adonis Jones. Those guys are going to be looking around going, hey, guys, somebody's going to need to look and say, hey, we know the way to Little Rock. You hop on 167 North and get the Yellow Dogs fired up and headed that way. But to get there, get on my back. I'll carry you there. Somebody's going to have to do that. If they don't do it, then, hey, it ends tonight. And, that's part of it. But give yourself an opportunity. Give yourself a chance. It's going to start defensively. Got to come out and find a way. Junction City started to show some things there toward the end of the half that, hey, maybe they're starting to figure some things out defensively. But Coach Smith said it in the days leading up to tonight's game. You've got to do your job. When the moment you try to help out somebody else, that's when they run the play to that gap. And if it's not a big gain, it's 6. And that's going to be the key is do your job, and let the chips fall where they may.
Absolutely. And Jacob, then on offense, you look at the offensive line and, okay, get on somebody. Let's start getting on some people, and let's get a few. You ain't got to open a big hole for 3. You ain't got to open a big hole for Ivory. Just get them a little sliver and let them roll.
Yeah, Junction City they're averaging almost 5 yards a carry, which is, pretty impressive. They've ran 30 plays, which is 2 more than the Eagles have ran. But the thing is, they've got 68 less yards of offense. The quick math there in my head. Des Arcs had the football for just over 14 minutes. And so if you're the defense, it sounds simple. You got to get off the field and get your offense the football back. Well, offensively, you've got to be able to move it. I'll go back to that first drive in the first half where, Junction City comes out 1 yard run from Johnson, back-to-back incompletions, and Norman's punting. Now, Norman did a great job. He dropped it down there on the 15-yard line.
37-yard punt.
But nothing going from the offense, and it was just bang, bang, bang so quick that you didn't really take much time off the clock. But you guarantee when Des Arcs gets the football, they're going to do their darndest to make sure they take a lot of time off the clock. So, really, offensively, like you said, I think you got to start kind of spreading it out a little bit, getting some more guys involved. The offensive line, for the most part, is doing a pretty good job. Give credit to Des Arcs, though. When they see 3 in the backfield, that's where their key's going.
The key that is the number one key, I guarantee, in their game plan as far as defense, what they were going to do. Where is 3 at, and what is he doing?
And I don't blame him. Look at what Jamal's done the last 2 weeks.
Last 2 weeks,
he comes in over 200 yards back-to-back games, and I would definitely want to know where 3's at all times as well.
Yeah. Well, Jacob, I tell you what, for us to get to do this, talk about here at halftime what the Dragons need to do, it's because of these people I'm about to mention. Folks, you hear me mention them all the time. They are critical to what we do, and we want to thank each and every one of them. In fact, I visit with Miss Kim Fells, had to get a haircut there, Jacob. You didn't compliment me on it, but I'm going to let it go. And she said, Wayne, I want to tell you what. Said I had 3 or 4 people come in here just in the last couple of weeks. Love that you sponsor the DS, that you advertise on the DSN. And we want to start with Kim's Hair Salon and thank her. Hog Wild Pest Control, First Baptist Church. Folks, you're looking for a church to attend. Joey Dumas, he issued a challenge back in October to all former Junction City alumni, especially from the 70s. Get involved with the school, or if you won't get involved with the DSN, he's advertising with us, and we want to thank him, and we want to thank him for issuing the challenge. Terminex, Power Over Pest. Pest problem, give Terminex a call. Junction City Floors, boy, y'all heard me say it before. Miss Sharon, Mr. Steve, some of my favorite people in the world, Junction City Floors, and she's another one. I get tickled. Miss Sharon always tell them, you don't have to mention, we're just glad to be a part of it. Well, thank you for being a part of it, and thank you for doing it. And yes, we got to mention you. Folks, y'all want some good Mexican, make you want to slap a burro or something, Gonzalez Mexican Restaurant. Outstanding food. Give them a call. Try it out. I recommend the steak special.
Do you?
I recommend it, highly recommend it. In memory of Kevin Norris. Miss Jan, from 2013 on, has been with us. We want to thank her and her family. I can't say enough about it. And anybody that knows her and her family, please let them know, hey, thank you for taking care of the DSN, because she's taking care of us. I tell you what, and I appreciate it greatly. Ameriprise Financial, Mr. Greg Harris, they handled the coaches show tonight. We had 2 of them. We interviewed, of course, we talked with Coach Pascal, Des Arcs, and as always with Coach Smith. Mr. Greg Harrison, financial advisor. Got any advising you need done? Give him a call.
He's your man.
He's your man. Clean Team Pro Wash. Shout out to Mr. Kent Holmes and Company. We have used them. They do an outstanding job. You need your house cleaned up, need a good washing. That's the people to call. They sponsor or they present the scoreboard, our Clean Team Pro Wash scoreboard, and the updates. And a big thank you to them. Folks, you got to do some digging. You're concerned about lines and stuff like that. Call 811 before you dig. Lanxess. Mr. Mark Day, want to thank them for being a part of the DSN. They were the presenters of the Wall of Honor this year. Clean Harbors is the presenter of Game Night. This year was the first year we launched Game Night, and they came on board with us, and we want to thank them for being a part of it. Game Night was a overwhelming success. We were hoping for certain numbers. We kind of set a lofty goal. We surpassed it. That's because of the fine viewers we have here on the DSN. We want to thank y'all for being a part of that and letting us come into your home and checking out what we got to say. James Anderson Foundation is the sponsor or the main advertiser presenter of Junction City basketball. And we're hoping to have some big plans there. We're working on them right now, getting ready for basketball. The James Anderson Foundation on board with us on that. Union Kennel and Farm Supply. Shout out to Mr. Ricky Robertson. They are our YouTube sponsor. Folks, when we do the games at the Muse, it is the EDC broadcast booth. Jacob, as you know, El Dorado Chemical and LSB Industry. They are the name of our broadcast booth there at the Muse. They're also, this year we're setting up a broadcast booth inside Dragon Arena, and it is the EDC broadcast booth in there. They have been with us from the get-go. In fact, they were critical in helping us keep it going in 2013 when we first got going. Wasn't sure what we're doing. And some people say 8 years later, we still don't know what we're doing. But they came on board and helped us out greatly. Folks, these are the fine supporters of the Dragon Sports Network. You know anyone connected with any of them, or you need to do some business along their lines of work, give them a call, let them know. We would appreciate it greatly. We're going to step away for how long do we need to step away from real quick, and we're going to come back, but I believe with some scores, ain't we, Jacob?
Let's step aside for 2 minutes.
We're going to step aside for 2 minutes. When we come back, I believe, Mr. Pumphrey, you got some scores for us. We'll go to the Clean Team Pro Wash scoreboard when we come back here on the DSN.
The second half in Des Arc, Arkansas, Henson Rollins Field. The Dragons are making their way back out to the far side of the field. They trail the Eagles 22-8. Des Arc will receive the opening half kickoff. Let's jump over to the Clean Team Pro Wash scoreboard for an update. The other one folks around Class 2A fans are interested in, down there in Clark County, it was tied at 14 with 2:30 to play in the first half. Obviously, I'm sure that one has went to the intermission. But that was the last update we had on that one. McGee 30, Prescott 25. That's an interesting score. Hoxie 39, Paris 7. That one was in the second quarter. Hoxie running away with that one, as is Harding Academy 42-14 over Boonville at the break. Glen Rose with a 14-point lead over Center Point. Ozark by 8 against Stuttgart. Ozark on the road is Stuttgart, just down the road a little ways from us here. Shiloh Christian holding on, or actually it just updated. They went up 11 at the half against Dumas. 17-6 is the score in that one. Rivercrest, the Colts all over Crossett, 35-7. Nashville, you had a Nashville score, I believe,
yes,
for us.
I do.
I'll give you an opportunity to pull that up. Pulaski Academy 24, Win 14. Little Rock Christian by 10 at the half over Harrison, 24-14. So just some of the scores from around the state. Again, two big games tomorrow as the Class 7 and 6A state title games will be played in 7A. North Little Rock at Bryant, Lake Hamilton, and Greenwood in 6A. So two big-time matchups there to start off the the state final affairs for Moore Memorial Stadium.
Warren in Nashville, Jacob, you asked me about it. With 27 seconds to go till the half, Jakari Lee of Warren intercepted a pass, took it back 78 yards to the house. It is 34-20 Warren over Nashville.
All right. I know a lot of people around the state were keeping their eyes on that one. Those two teams have somewhat of a history in big games, especially in playoff performance. I know a couple of years ago in the state title game they played a big one, and then several years before that they played an even bigger, controversial one with the finish there at the end at the goal line. So it's always interesting to see those matchups from years ago come back into play in the playoffs. I mean, heck, Wayne, we've got one before us here tonight from Henson Rollins Field off the western banks of the White River. 6 meeting all time between these two teams. None have come in from the quarterfinals on. There's been 3 quarterfinal meetings and 2 meetings in the state finals.
That's right.
And here we are in the semifinals in meeting number 6. Dragons trail by 14. They'll have to kick it off to the Eagles here as they reset the clock. Still waiting for Desark to make their way back onto the field. The Dragons on the far side getting loose here before we kick off the second half. And we're going to step away for a quick word from AAA.
The schools participating in this football playoff game are members of the Arkansas Activities Association as authorized by their school boards. The administrators of these schools have helped to write the rules and regulations that govern participation of students in competitive activities for the school that are members of the AAA. The Arkansas Activities Association, which is sponsoring this football playoff game, is a voluntary, nonprofit educational association of some 500 junior and senior public and private high schools of Arkansas. The regulations which guide these events are adopted by the schools themselves and determine the type of program they believe to be the most desirable of the high school youth. The Arkansas Activities Association is one of 50 state organizations that belong to the National Federation of State High School Associations. This association formulates policies, game rules, and standards for inter-school competition. The schools of Arkansas have adopted these rules on eligibility, which correspond with those recommended by the National Federation.
Just about 90 seconds until second half kickoff here from Henson Rollins Field in Prairie County, Arkansas. Prairie County, the 19th different county the Dragon Sports Network has rolled into. And when I say rolled into, folks, rolled into the 19th different county in the state of Arkansas, the 21st different congressional district after having broadcast 2 games in the state of Louisiana, 1 each in Claiborne and Union Parish. And here we are just moments away from second half kickoff. Got a couple of personal shout-outs. Joe Lowe, former quarterback for the Junction City Dragons. He's listening and watching. Appreciate him jumping on board. Also, Mr. Bubba Gurley and his clan from out there in Knoxville, Tennessee. Yeah. Also, Daniel Gallegos and his family. Miss Parker had her 5th birthday. If you can believe that, Miss Parker. A couple of days ago. That's wow. Growing up on me, I can't even believe how Mom and Dad may be feeling. But thankful that they're tuning in as well. And then tell you what, Wayne, I know you talked about wanting to get a map made of where we've had listeners tune in from. And I mean, a couple of weeks ago, Romania. That's going to be a big map if we're trying to draw that to scale. So I don't know how you're going to pull that off. But I've got a state we can add to it.
Before you do that on the Romania, you take a hard left at Randolph and just keep going.
Keep going.
You cross the pond, you'll run into it.
You'll run right into
it. Go ahead there.
That's a hard left at Randolph for those at home drawing some instructions. But up there on the eastern seaboard, there is not a sea duck that does not fear the next couple of days. Got a couple of buddies up there, Brennan Cup, Jordan Hammett, Kyle Sellers up there shooting every sea duck that comes flying in on the eastern seaboard up there in Maine, enjoying some fresh lobster from the region tonight. So we've made it to Maine, Wayne.
We are now. Hey, I love it. Now we're coast to coast. California, we had some.
That's
now
right.
We got Maine. You said Hammett, Sellers, and Cup.
Cup, yeah.
2 of the 3 I know are on the FBI's 10 most wanted. I'm pretty sure the 3rd one is too.
And they're all armed too. So
that's even more scary.
Hopefully we didn't blow any cover there.
Indeed. Well, I believe, Jacob, we are about set. Desark has taken the field. Here come the Dragons. Like we said, folks, Junction City will kick it off to start the second half. And, Jacob, what we talked about earlier, we're going to find out what's fixing to happen and see if it's going to work. Because I'm pretty sure we were dead on for what we had to say about this is it. This is the things you got to do. So first thing we're going to look at, can the defense stop them?
That's right. At this point in the season, Wayne, you've got 2 quarters left. You're trailing by 14. It's not difficult when it comes to what needs to be said that needs to be done. The execution may be a little more difficult, but let's see what happens here. It's going to be a sky kick, and that is going to bounce. That is going to be fielded by Junction City.
We got the ball.
There was nobody back there for Desark, and just like that, the Dragons with a big punch to start the second half. They had nobody back there. I think it was DeBose on the far side of the field, an absolute heroic effort. I mean, he laid out, Wayne.
He laid all the way out.
To keep the ball in play, rolled over and was able to recover it in Junction City. Just like that, a special teams play, what they needed to happen, and they've got it 1st and 10 from the Desark 30. Out of the pistol. They're going to give to Jamal Johnson. Johnson running hard, and that's going to be a hard-earned. I'm seeing where they're trying to see where they're spotting. It's going to be a hard earn. We'll call it just a little bit more than 3. So 2nd down and 6+ here for Junction City. I said heroic effort by DeBose. Heroic from the standpoint of it was a heck of a play.
He laid out to get it.
Doing his job. And that's going to be Johnson. Shot up the middle. Makes a man miss at the 1st down marker. He's going to pick up a couple of more yards. And we'll be interested to see where they spot him when. I believe they're going to give it. They're going to, well, definitely a first, but I believe they're going to give him the 16. And so forward progression, they're going to mark it the 17. A 1st down run regardless.
Yeah.
And so the Dragons 1st and 10, 11:25. Clock stops momentarily to reset the chains. They're quickly to the line of scrimmage. Frazier, the receiver, to the left. Man-to-man coverage. It'll be Gilbert, the man to the right. Far side of the field. They give to Johnson. Right up the middle. Trucks a man as he crosses the 15-yard line down to around the 11. It's going to be a 6-yard carry, 2nd down and 4. Clock's going to move under 11 minutes before the next snap. Richard makes some changes at the line of scrimmage. Tate joins him in the backfield. Ivory will follow behind him, and they're going to pick up a 1st down. That's going to be a 5-yard carry for A.J. Ivory. Spot the football at the 5. Junction City starting to move quickly here. They look to the sideline, get the play call. Ivory will remain in the backfield. Going to operate out of the pistol. And they give to Ivory. He'll bounce it out right side, and he is in. Touchdown! Junction City, there's a flag very late coming in from the line judge on the far side of the field. He'll take his time moving up to the white hat. They'll discuss things. Not real sure what this could be.
That's what I'm wondering.
Obviously, I guess it could be a hold, but it did come in late. Ivory was already in the end zone when the flag was thrown.
Yeah.
Dragons are backing themselves up. It may be a hold. That's what it's going to be. It's going to be a hold on Junction City.
And there was no need for it.
No, that close to the goal line. That's going to put Junction City at the 15-yard line. Still good opportunity here for the Dragons. Going to work off the near hash. 10:37 to play here in the 3rd quarter. Junction City kicked it off. It was Corey DeBose, an absolute great play along the edge to recover the onside, not the onside kick, just the corner kick. They give to Ivory. He cuts it inside. He was going to try to work off left tackle, cuts it inside, and picks up a couple of yards. We'll call it 4 as they spot him at the 11. So to bring up 2nd down and goal for Junction City. Ivory remains in the backfield. He's behind Richard. His number called once again. Falls behind a couple of blocks. Ivory trucks a man. Still on his feet. He's going to move down inside the 5-yard line. Actually, they're going to mark him at the 5. So it's going to be 3rd down and goal from the 5. Clock moves under 10 minutes to play here.
Jacob, I just keep pounding at him. You're starting to open up a little room. You may want to try to slide it off tackle here. Never know what Coach Thompson's up to.
Out of the shotgun, pump fake. They're going to throw it up left side and incomplete. Incomplete, trying to hook up with Frazier. And, incomplete there. That'll stop the clock with 9:41 to play here in the 3rd quarter. First drive for either team here in the 2nd half. Dragons are going to go for it, obviously. Out of the pistol formation from the 5, near hash, hard count. Not get the Eagles to jump. Reset the play. They'll bring Tate in motion, right to left. He'll set up off the tackle. They'll give to A.J. Ivory. He's going to try to bounce it out. Nowhere to go. Nowhere to go, and the Eagles stop Junction City. So a drive wasted for the Dragons. That was your opportunity, Wayne. You had an opportunity. You had the football down inside the 10. You had a score.
The hole came in late. I'm assuming the receiver held. No need to do it. I mean, I don't understand why.
And so now it's Des Arc football, and this actually, well, obviously it benefits Des Arc by stopping Junction City. But now it's almost as if they get the second half kickoff with time on their side, because it just Junction City was able to burn, 2.5 plus minutes off the clock, and they come away with no points. So it's almost as if we're starting the third quarter with 9:34 to play. 1st and 10 for the Eagles deep in their own territory. They give to Kirby. He's right up the middle. A good solid gain from Kirby. I tell you what, he's gained only positive yards tonight, especially when they run those dive plays over right. Actually over the right or left side of the center, I should say, in between the guards.
Yeah, and it's been kind of a bread and butter run for them there, Jacob, or play, I should say, because when they hit that, a couple of times we've stopped them for a 1, maybe 2 yard game. Most of the time it's been 4, 5.
2nd down and 6 for the Eagles. Ball spotted at the 13-yard line of Des Arc. Morton scans. They're going to give to Kerr. He's tripped at the line of scrimmage. He'll fall forward. They'll give him the 15, so it'll bring up 3rd down, and we'll call it 4 from the top deck of the press box. Clock's going to move under 8:40 before the next snap. Again, like I said, time on the Eagles' side. They're going to run this thing down as much as they can for each play. A big 3rd down here. Bring a man in motion. That's Holloway. Hard count there, could not get Junction City to jump. Good discipline there from the front line of the Dragon defense.
Play clock under 5.
And they're going to give right up the middle. They actually pitch. The ball's on the ground. And it's actually going to bring up a 4th down. Des Arc gets back on it. Holloway could not handle the pitch from Morton. So you got to think they're going to punt it away here with the football in their own deep in their own territory. I believe it's at the 13 is where they're spotting it, near side of the field, and back to punt for the Eagles. It's number 52.
Let's see what Des Arc tries to do here. If they're going to just kick and let the Dragons possibly get a return, or just kick it and, hey, we'll take our chances.
The ever-dangerous Devontae Gilbert at the Des Arc 46-yard line. It'll bounce, and Gilbert, he'll do a good job. Just let that go. So that's where Junction City will have it. So the Dragons and the Eagles, they trade blows on their first 2 drives in 7:33 to play third quarter action. The Dragons have it in Des Arc territory, and so Wayne, it feels like every drive from here on out is a pretty pivotal drive.
It is.
But they definitely need to find a way to come away with points here after unable to do so after hopping on that football on the kickoff to start the second half.
A big opportunity here, Jacob. Once again, great field position.
And sprint out pass complete to Gilbert, and it'll be a minimal gain there. Good job by Gilbert to get what he could. Thought if he stayed outside, he would have been able to pick up a little more, but positive yards is all you can ask for. It'll bring up a 2nd down. We'll call it a long 5. Ball's going to be spotted at the 37-yard line near hash of Des Arc. Frazier to the left, Gilbert to the right. He just caught his 4th pass of the game. They give to Johnson. He'll work over left guard. He'll get 2 yards down to the 35-yard line. Actually, they're going to spot him the 35. It's hard to tell from the far side of the field. They're going to spot him the 35. 3rd down and 3 for the Dragons. They give to Johnson. Falls behind a big block. Johnson still on his feet. He's down inside the 25. And they'll mark him at the 21-yard line. A big block out there on the edge. Adonis Jones.
Fresh set of downs there, Jacob. And the thing to remember, we talked about he don't need much. Johnson don't need much. They got him a little bit of a hold. He flies right through it, 14-yard gain.
Clock moves under 6 minutes and 30 seconds. They give to Johnson. He'll work right up the gut. Still on his feet. I tell you what, Wayne, that spin move, he spins. It's like he knows the exact moment when he spins. He'll spin and he'll get hit, but he'll get hit moving forward, and it'll result in even more positive yards from when initial contact was made. And the ball is placed down at the 15-yard line. Dragons are in the purple zone. They're going to move Tate Barnett, Wisdom Brown from right to left. Low snap, it's fielded. And they're going to give to A.J. Ivory, powering up down to around the 10-yard line. He's going to be awfully close to the first down marker. And they're going to signal first down. And let's see if they decide to set the – they're going to say it's a goal-to-go opportunity. They're going to set the chains down. So Junction City, a goal-to-go opportunity. 5:35 to play. Ball's on the ground. Richard's going to recover it. But it'll back the football up to the 14-yard line. Junction City can't get out of their own way. 14-point deficit. And so far, that end zone has been very elusive for Junction City here in the third quarter. Second down and goal from the 14 after the 4-yard loss. There's going to be a rollout. Richard looking.
Just go with it.
And he's going to keep it. He's going to pick up the 4 yards that they just lost. So it'll bring up a third and goal from the 10 now. Actually, they're going to give him the 9, Wayne. So third and goal from the 9.
But we know it's 4-down territory. That's a no-brainer.
Oh, sure.
So go with what you think, a roll here, and I think Jacob just pound at him here, maybe off tackle or something.
A little bit of that misdirection in the backfield might do the trick too. Ivory in the backfield, stretch give. They lose the football. Richard, he's forced out, still running around, and he's going to go down.
No.
And so that's where Junction City will have a 4th and goal now from the 25-yard line.
Sometimes it's best to just
throw
get
it away.
on the ball or
Just
throw it away. Goodness
Just throw it away.
gracious.
There's something wrong with the snaps, though. Last couple of ones have been low. But it still looks very, no issue in getting the snap. He's unable to hold on to it. So 4th and goal from the 25. At this point, you just want to try to get as many yards.
Yeah.
You want to score, but, if you can, at least want to have a completion down inside, maybe like around the 10, just so you're not giving them the football at the 25. They throw it up right side. Gilbert in and out of his hands. So Desart will have the football at the 25. So back-to-back possessions for the Dragons. Wash away like the sediment in the White River. And it is a 14-point deficit. It remains a 14-point deficit with 4:15 to play in the third quarter.
The thing is, you had 2 opportunities. They were wasted, but still, if you stop them here, you're still in position to do something. Just don't let them get any yards. In other words, hold them here, get the ball back. You're moving it, just not finishing.
You can't dial up a better start to a third quarter than Junction City had as far as opportunities.
That's it.
No, that's the thing about opportunities. You have to execute them. First down and 10 for the Eagles. Ball at the 25-yard line. They'll operate off the far hash. Going to keep it in tight. And the ball's on the ground. A couple of Dragons are saying it's Junction City football. They're at the bottom of the scrum, and it is a Dragon come away with it. It's Dragon football. It is Dragon football.
You have to take advantage, Jacob. You have to take advantage here. 4:09 to go, third quarter. You got to punch it in here. You punch it in here, it's a brand new game because you're down to 1 possession.
Junction City has spent more time on this end of the field here in the third quarter than they did combined in the first 2 quarters of the ball game. And there's still 4:09 to play in the quarter.
Yeah.
And Adonis Jones, he's having to run off the field. I tell you what, Wayne, that young man has played himself, not even a ball game. This whole playoff run, you've seen 58 flying around on both sides of the football, in the trenches, getting after it. He's going to have to come out. Not sure what's ailing him, but they're going to bring a man into that left guard position.
Yeah, I couldn't tell if he was limping or what.
And they're going to give to Jamal Johnson. Johnson right up the middle. He's going to drag a man down to the 20-yard line. Dragons are going to enter the purple zone here. It'll bring up a 2nd down and 5. Clock running with 3:51 here in the third quarter. 22-8 is our score. Desark by 14. Where else would you want to be in Prairie County on a Friday night? Stretch give. That's going to go to Johnson. He's going to get a block out there on the edge. And Johnson's going to move down inside the 15. I believe they may mark him out at the 15. And if they do, that's going to be a first down. Actually, give him the 14. No, the 15. I apologize. Trying to get things sorted down there. So give him the 14-yard line. It'll be a first. Excuse me, the 15. It'll be a first down for Junction City. 1st and 10 from the 15. Johnson and Richard in the backfield. Gilbert and Frazier the receivers. And they're going to give to Johnson. He'll work behind Adonis Jones, who's back in the game. And really a short gain there for Johnson. 2 yards. Bring up a 2nd down and 8 from the 13-yard line.
Jacob, I tell you, watching how Des Arc is lined up, been studying here the last couple of plays, a drag route might catch them off guard here because they are really focused on Johnson. They're picking up the receivers. You know, you got 2 guys on the receivers. It leaves a tight end the possibility of going across that middle with nobody there.
And a little trickeration here. Gilbert's got it. He gets a block from Richard. Still on his feet. He's going to cut it up inside the 7. He'll get down to around the 5. I believe he just picked up a new set of downs.
I believe he did.
And he did. It's a goal-to-go opportunity. It was similar to the kind of the trick play there late in the second quarter, Wayne, except this time Richard, the quarterback, out there getting the lead block for Gilbert, followed behind him, picked up a first down. 1st and goal from the 4. Big opportunity here for the Dragons.
Pound away. Just pound away.
And they get to Ivory. He leaps over a man. Still on his feet, running hard, and they'll finally blow the whistles. They'll give him, I believe, the 2-yard line. So it should be a 2-yard carry there for Ivory. Should bring up a 2nd down and goal from the 2. Clock's going to move under 2 minutes to play. Maybe around 1:30 here before the next snap. A quick-moving third quarter. And they're going to give to Ivory, following behind a block from Mendoza. And Ivory's in. Touchdown, Junction City. A.J. Ivory from 2 yards out. And that makes it an 8-point ball game, a 2-point try here, Wayne. And it could cut what felt like a big deficit down to just 6 points.
A huge 2-point conversion coming up. And of course, at this latest stage in the game, everything's huge, but especially here.
Ivory was in easily. From this angle, it almost didn't look like he got in. The way he's just stopped as soon as he crossed the goal line. They're going to go in the wild dragon. Johnson, he's going to follow behind a host of teammates. They're going to blow it dead.
What happened?
And I guess it's going to be a false start. It came from the head official.
Okay. I'm watching it on the monitor because of our angle and everything.
And false start on Junction City. That'll back the Dragons up. It'll make the 2-point try a little bit more difficult now. They'll spot it at the 8-yard line. They'll work from the middle of the field. So Johnson, he was following behind a host of Dragons out there on the edge. That's Wisdom Brown, Chris Norman, A.J. Ivory, and Tanner Barnett. They were all leading the charge for number 3. Again, they'll stay in the wild dragon. They take the snap. Johnson to throw, and this time he's being pressured. And he's still rolling around back there. He's going to throw it, and it is going to be incomplete. Knocked down by Reed, so the 2-point try unsuccessful, but a timeout on the field. 93 seconds remain in the third quarter. Des Arc 22, Junction City 14, back in 30 on the Dragon Sports Network. .133 to play, third quarter action from Henson Rollins Field in Des Arc, Arkansas. The winner of this one advances to the Class 2A state title game next week from War Memorial Stadium, a 6:40 kick on Saturday. But we are a long way from next weekend's state championship game. 13 minutes and 33 seconds remain in this one. Dragons trail by 8. And they're set to kick things off here after the touchdown run by A.J. Ivory. And it's going to be a kick, and it is going to go out of bounds. So not as fortunate of a kick there as the first one to start the second half that gave Junction City the football. So the Eagles will have it. And the time of possession going into the half, Des Arc had the football for over 14 minutes. I believe it was 14 minutes and 8 seconds. It'd be interesting to see what the time of possession is for the Eagles now.
Well, as we talked about at halftime, this is huge here. You want to shut them down, get that ball back. You want the defense to, 3 and out. Let's get the ball. It don't matter where we get it at. Let's get the ball and start moving it. We show we can move the ball now. Defense, make a couple stands here. Make another one, and let's see what we can do.
First down and 10 for the Eagles at their own 49-yard line. Great field position here. They've only had the football for 1 minute and 51 seconds here in the third quarter. They give to Kirby right up the middle. Minimal gain. About 3 yards. They should bring up a second down and 7. Caribby. I apologize, folks. Caribby moves the football down inside Dragon territory. They'll spot it at the 48-yard line of Junction City. Final 70 seconds to play here in the third quarter. Des Arc looks to the sideline. And again, no rush here. Morton is not on the field for the Eagles. Number 12 in the ball game here for Des Arc. And they're going to give. That is going to be to Holloway, and he is going to be, I tell you, got his jersey pulled on by a Dragon. I believe that was Barnett. He held on for just enough for the rest of the cavalry to get there. So to bring up a third down here for Des Arc. Third down and Wayne. That's about 4 yards to go for the Eagles. Like we said, Morton not on the field.
Yeah, and Jacob, I was watching here. They're working on he's holding his arm like he's hurting pretty bad.
He's played a heck of a ball game so far.
And I'm trying to see who they got in at quarterback. 12.
This should be the final snap of the third quarter.
Yep.
Do not have a 12 on the roster. I do apologize, folks. And it's going to be a counter play. That's going to be Holloway. A block on the inside. Holloway is going to get down inside the 20 to around they're actually going to mark him down at the 13-yard line with 2 seconds to play in the third quarter. Gilbert got trapped there, out there on the edge. A good block. They're letting them play here in Prairie County. I don't blame them. And that should do it for the third quarter, and that will.
A very good block there. And then once they sprung it, Holloway making a good run, it sets up an interesting start to the fourth quarter.
12 minutes remain. Des Arc 22. Junction City 14. The Eagles are knocking on the door of the end zone. We're back in 30 on the Dragon Sports Network. A heavyweight bout indeed. 22-14 is our score. Welcome back to Henson Rollins Field in Des Arc, Arkansas. The sixth meeting all time between the Dragons and the Eagles. And Des Arc has the football set up inside the Junction City 15, officially marked at the 13. It's a 1st and 10 after the big run from Ian Holloway. See what imagine that Holloway blood runs deep here in Prairie County, Wayne.
Well, every time I think of the run Holloway made in the 08. I think it started the third quarter.
Yes.
About, 80 yards?
It was something like that.
It was a heck of a run.
1st and 10 for the Eagles. And they're going to give to Caribby. Nowhere going. Good. Actually, he was able to keep his feet moving. He was met at the line of scrimmage. But he'll actually pick up 2. 2nd down and 8 now. The ball's going to be spotted at the 11-yard line. Going to work off the far hash. Eagles moving left to right. And again, Des Arc with an 8-point lead. 11 and a half to play here in the ball game. Knocking on the door. Holloway, the man in motion. They're going to fake the sweep to him, and a good read by Junction City. Barnett, Tanner in on the stop. Several other Dragons there to finish the play. Peyton Robinson. And here comes Morton. Morton going to corner if it's just somewhat of a sleeve. From what we told, it was a dislocated elbow. Suffered in the last waning minutes of the game, their win over Bigelow.
Jacob, it looks like he's got a little bit of a brace there. I'm not sure.
Third
but he's
down,
back in.
3rd down and 8 from the 11. And they're going to give right up the middle. That's Caribbean. And he is going to be 3 yards short of a first down, but you know it's 4-down territory. No doubt about that for the Eagles.
They did pregame warm-ups that were kicking fairly good, but they're going here. You're
going to stay on the sideline here.
Yeah.
Morton coming to the sideline. Clock's at 10:20 to play in the ball game. He gets a call from the sideline, relays it to his teammates. 4th down and 3 for the Eagles. Ball spotted at the 6-yard line. They've got to get to the 4 to make it a goal-to-go opportunity, and that's going to back them up. They had 2 men in motion in the backfield. They sent Holloway in motion, but Reed moved from the left side of the line of scrimmage. And now that's going to make it a 4th down, and it should be 8. It'll back the football up to the 11-yard line. 10:02 to play, 4th quarter action. Des Arc by 8. They get the play call from the sideline. Again, they almost in sync. They look to their wrist for the play.
Got to make your reads. And like you said, Jacob, just do your job.
Don't watch anything tricky here. And that's more going to be a pitch to Reed, and nowhere to go. The Dragons are there. Several white jerseys on the stop, and it's going to be Junction City football with 9:38 to play in the ball game. They trail by 8. Here you go, Wayne.
Jacob, first thing first, defense, like we said, outstanding job. This time, the trailer, when he come around, they were ready. They shut it down. Now, like we've been talking about, folks, this ain't complicated. We've got to get that offense, move it down the field. You got all 3 timeouts. You got time to do it. You can run your base offense and work it down there, score, and we definitely got to get to 2.
And Johnson in at quarterback. Ivory joins him in the backfield. Johnson to keep it. He's right up the gut. And that's going to be a 1st down carry on 1st and 10. 11 yards for Jamal Johnson. And that's going to move Junction City up past the 25. Mark it at the 27. Actually a 12-yard run from Jamal Johnson. And it looks like the Dragons they're going to work out of a 3-receiver set, Wayne. And they're going to work out of the Wild Dragon, as we like to call it. Johnson's going to roll out. He's going to throw it to DeBose. He's got space out there on the right side, and I believe he got a first down. We'll see if he stepped out. Actually, they're going to say he stepped out at I believe that's the 43-yard line, so he's going to be several yards short. But nice little play design there on the 6-yard pickup. 2nd down and 4. Junction City starting to move pretty quickly here. 9:22 to play, 4th quarter action. Ivory in the backfield with Johnson.
Well, as soon as I said base offense, they went to the Wild Dragon.
And they give to Ivory. Ivory powering his way up to around the 40-yard line. He's got the first down. The Junction City side, they're fired up.
That is what you want to see there. Just, hey, I'm coming. Hit me. Stop me if you can. And they're giving themselves a chance here. That's all you can ask for.
Clock will stop momentarily. Now it'll start on the official's command. It'll near the 9-minute mark before the next snap. Again, Johnson and Ivory to remain in the backfield. We saw a little bit of it last week, Wayne. We're seeing a heavy dose of it here. Ivory puts it on the ground. I believe he might have gotten back on it. Actually, Des Arc saying they've got the football, and they do. They do have the football. Des Arc football, and I believe the man that recovered the fumble is now hurt.
54.
54 is hurt. He was jumping around. Chance Eldridge is the name we have. You don't like to see that. We're going to step aside for 60 seconds, back with the final 9 minutes to play here in the Class 2A state semifinal. Chance Eldridge being helped off the field by some members of the Des Arc coaching staff. Not sure what the injury is. He did come away with the fumble recovery, so it'll be Des Arc football. Hope it's nothing serious for number 54 in green. Des Arc football, 1st and 10, far side of the field. It'll be at the 39-yard line of Junction City. An opportunity wasted there for the Dragons. They put it on the ground. They're having some pretty good success moving the football 5-6 yards at a time. They turn it over. And now Morton back out on the field to lead this Eagle offense. First down play they give to Caribou. That's going to be about 2 yards on the first down rush.
Guarantee you, Jacob, Des Arc will not be in a hurry here. And if you're the Dragons, you do not want them getting any first downs. You want that ball back.
Yeah, you do. Clock's going to move under 8.5.
Keep in mind that also Junction with all 3 timeouts, the Eagles have 2 remaining.
Ball at the 37-yard line. 11 on the play clock. Yeah, they're definitely going to take this down. 4 to snap. And with 1 second, they snap it, and now we've got whistles.
Movement on Des Arc.
So 2nd down and 8, whistles before the play, and it's going to be a false start on the Eagles.
Yep.
It's going to back them up. Five yards pushes them back to the 42-yard line. It'll bring up a 2nd down and 13 with 8:07 to play, 4th quarter action. 22-14 is our score. Des Arc by a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. Eagles to throw. Morton over the top, incomplete. And DeBoe's on the coverage. Those in green wanting a pass interference call, and now we've got flags on the far side of the field. I believe that may actually be from the Des Arc sideline. Coach Pascal is fired up. And I believe it may be unsportsmanlike conduct on the Des Arc sideline. Certainly they're not about to call pass interference that late into the play having already been to, and the play was over with. And that's what
sideline warning.
Sideline warning. So it's just going to be a warning there, and that's what he's telling the official, or the official's telling him to back up off the field. He was out there. Wasn't at the numbers, probably about around the halfway mark.
Well, usually, it looked like they was fixing to mark a penalty off, but usually you just give him a warning and then I think now that now we're ready.
Yeah, it's still going to be 3rd and 13. No. It's a warning first. It's a warning first. 3rd and 13 for the Eagles. Incompletion stops the clock. 7:46 to play in the 4th quarter. And they're going to throw again. Pressure. That's Norman, and he sacks Morton back into Des Arc territory. I believe they'll mark it at the 49-yard line of the Eagles, and that's going to bring up a 4th down and very long, as the clock is going to tick under 7.5 minutes, and it's going to be punt time for Des Arc.
Jacob, sometimes, even if you're an offense that doesn't get in a hurry, you run, you take your time running. Sometimes when you really get into a delay, like we're going to milk the clock, you lose that continuity, you lose that freshness, so to speak, of your offense. And you notice here, Des Arc, a couple of plays not looking solid, and now the Dragons with a chance to get something going on offense, hopefully.
And that's going to be fielded at the 20-yard line. That is going to be Gilbert. He's going to make a man miss, and they're going to throw a flag. I believe they're going to get Barnett for a block in the back, so Junction City is going to be they're going to be well backed up here. It would have been a return of around 9 yards for Gilbert. Of course, it probably would have taken him about 20 yards to get that 9. Some of the moves he was making, but they're going to call Junction City for a block in the back, so that's going to put the Dragons deep in their own territory.
What we got left, Jacob?
6:52 to play in the ball game. 22-14 is our score. The Eagles by 8.
Junction has all three times. They hadn't used any, so they still got all 3. But, Jacob, this could very well be the last time you get the ball. There's no guarantees.
You're right.
So you got to do it here.
And back them up a little bit more. They might have only had.
There ain't too much more you can back up, and we'll be outside the football field. We'll be in Grant County somewhere else. Going to have to do it here.
Richard back in the game at quarterback. And the ball is snapped. It's going to go into the end zone. You can't go down. I'm actually going to say whistles. So they're going to call Junction City with a false start, and that's probably the best false start of the season for the Dragons, because if that had been a live football,
yeah,
Johnson had nowhere to go. I mean, he would have had to have pick it up and chunk it down the field and hope it doesn't get picked off, because, I mean, if you take a knee, obviously that's would have been a safety. And so Junction City, deep in their own territory, a false start. Now they're behind the chains. 1st and 15 from their own 4-yard line. They've got to go 96 yards here. And again, whistles before the snap.
And now
still no decision. Okay, there we go. It's going to be offsides on Junction City, so half the distance to the goal. Like you said, Wayne, we'll be out in the back street of the parking lot. We'll be playing from the Oak Grove Cemetery across the road.
If we don't get going, they may bury us there.
First down and 17. 6:47 to play in the ball game. Richard standing in the end zone. They're going to give right up the middle. That's going to be Jamal Johnson. And Johnson's going to pick up around 6. It should make it a 2nd down and 11. 6.5 minutes remaining. 2nd down and 11 for Junction City. Pistol formation, Richard in at quarterback. Stretch give, that's going to go to Jamal Johnson out there on the edge. And the ball's put on the ground, and Desark's got it. Desark has got the football. Jamal Johnson fumbles it at the 15-yard line. And that's where the Eagles will take over 1st and 10 with 6:17 to play in the ball game.
He kind of got sandwiched.
He got sandwiched
and they brought it out.
Lost control of the football, yep.
Good tackle by the Eagles.
Good tackle in the open field, because Johnson, if he could have made a move around one of those guys, it might would have benefited Junction. It would have been a big gain for sure. But a good open field tackle there by the Eagles kind of combined there to force the ball loose. And so you're calling on your defense once again.
And with the 3 timeouts remaining, if you need to burn them here to save time, you have that option.
8-point ball game. Eagles with the football. Morton, he'll get under center. Going to bring Reed in motion. And they're going to give to Caribbean. And Tate Barnett, he's seen that enough tonight. He finally gets Caribbean in the backfield. They may give him forward. We're actually going to say lost a yard. 2nd down and 11. And the clock's going to move under 6 minutes. In fact, Wayne, this snap might not come until 25 on the play clock. It'll come at about 5:34 if they run it all the way down to a 2nd. With an 8-point lead and the football in the red zone, I don't know why you wouldn't run it down to a 2nd.
Yeah, I mean, milk all you can.
2nd down and 11. Again, Reed in motion. They give to Caribbean. He'll pick up positive yards on his 2nd carry of the drive. Should be about a 3-yard carry. Bring up 3rd down and 8. 5:20, 5:19. Clock ticking here in Prairie County. Time winding down in this semifinal affair. 10 seconds on the play clock. Again, Morton Company in no hurry. Why should they be? Clock moves under 5. And he makes a quick adjustment, 2 on the play clock. Gets the snap, and it's going to be Holloway. He's going to be tripped up. And I believe they're going to mark him just shy of the 10-yard line, so it should bring up a 4th down from the 11.
4:40 to go, Jacob.
They would need to get to I believe that's the 5, Wayne, for a 1st down. Ball's at the 11. It's 4th and 6. So they need to get to the 5 for a new set of downs. Clock's under 4.5 to play. 15 on the play clock.
I tell you what, say this, 5 are right inside the 5. From our angle, it's hard to tell, but got to get inside the 5, let's say.
Need a big stop here. This is the ball game. And it's going to be a pitch out. That's Holloway, and he's going to be short.
Tackle.
Great tackle.
Great
Who was
tackle.
that, Wayne?
Gilbert.
No, that's a Corey DeBose. Corey DeBose on the stop. That was DeBose.
Yeah. I saw the one, and I thought Gilbert immediately. Great job by Corey DeBose. I mean, the hardest tackle to make sometimes in open field when you're on the island, as they say.
Sure.
And he came up and made it. Now, folks, they got another opportunity. Like we said a while ago, there's no guarantee. This may be it. The good thing is they didn't have to burn no timeouts, 4:07, so here we go.
Junction City 1st and 10 from their own 7-yard line. And it's going to be a stretch give to, hard to tell who was in the backfield there first, Wayne. I believe that's Ivory.
Ivory. And you gotta hurry. I mean, you ain't got to rush, but you got to, a little bit of purpose there.
Sure. 3:48, 3:47, clock running here. Henson Rollins Field, 4th quarter action. Dragons, Twins formation out to the left. Richard takes the snap. He's going to sprint out right. On the run, and he throws. It's complete. Tate Barnett, and he's going to pick up the first down. He moves up across the 20. Clock will stop momentarily to reset the chains. I tell you what, Barnett floated across that middle, Wayne. You saw that left hand come up. He knew he wanted the football. Hauls it in with 3.5 to play. 1st and 10, Junction City.
Get on the ball.
They spot the ball at the 23-yard line. Frazier and Gilbert both to the left. And it'll be a stretch give to Jamal Johnson. And Johnson's going to be wrapped up. But it's going to be a pretty good gain there. I'm trying to see where they're going to spot him. I believe it's a 27-yard. Yeah, the 28. They'll give him the 28. 2nd down and 5 for the Dragons. Clock's going to go under 3 minutes before the next snap. Richard trying to get guys to the line of scrimmage. And they're going to give to Johnson. He's met at the line of scrimmage. Big tackle there. I'll tell you what, Wayne, it might not be a bad idea maybe to call a timeout just to try to regroup. You don't want to get going too fast. You want to still be able to execute. They actually give him a yard. 3rd down and 4. And they give to A.J. Ivory out on the edge, nowhere to go on 3rd and 4.
They're picking that up immediately.
Yeah, they're going to have to call up something else. The clock 2:17, 2:16. It's running. Here's the ball game right here. 4th down.
Yeah.
And we'll call it 7. And Junction City definitely going to take a timeout to talk things over. We'll step aside with them. Back in 30. Dragons trail by 8. 4th down upcoming. Back in 30 on the DSN. Coming out of the timeout. 22-14 is our score. The Eagles by 8. Junction City facing a 4th down and 6 from their own 27-yard line. They've got 2 timeouts to work with. If they're not to convert here, it would be awfully tough, Wayne.
Very, very
They would not be out of it, but they just need to convert here. They're going to empty it. They're going to throw it out to, I believe that is Gilbert. Gilbert's going to get the first down. A great play design. They motion Ivory out of the backfield. Clock's going to stop momentarily with 2:05 to play.
Okay, we need to get on the ball. I mean, you ain't got to rush, but little purpose here. They're moving the chains.
Every second matters.
That's right. Every second matters. You got to score, of course, and you got to convert to 2.
Twin receivers to the right. Clock moves under 2 minutes. Stretch give. That's going to go to Ivory, and Ivory's going to move up across the 40-yard line. Actually, they're going to spot him at around the 43-yard line.
You're eating up a lot of time.
No, actually, they spot him at the 41.
Yeah.
And, yeah, you're eating up a lot of time. Clock's going to move under 140. Got 2 timeouts to work with. Dragons going to go quickly. Sprint out pass. That's going to be, I believe is that Gilbert?
Gilbert, I believe.
Yeah, that's Gilbert. Complete to Gilbert, his 6th catch of the game.
Depending on where, I think he got the first, Jake.
I believe he got the first. It's going to be awfully close.
That's the first down. Yeah,
so the clock's going to stop with 1:29 to play.
Just like I said, get set, get on the ball, get set.
Ball at the 48-yard line of Junction City. Final 90 seconds. They sprint out pass. That's going to be complete
there you go, get out.
I believe that's Gilbert again.
Yes.
I tell you what, it's there, and their Junction City so far is taking it. They only needed 6 seconds there. It'll be a 4-yard gain. It'll move into Des Arc territory.
And Jacob, earlier in the game, Gilbert became the school's all-time leading reception leader. He passed Jalen Davis, who played from 2015-17.
First receiver in school history to log 60 or more catches in a career. He's got a man. That's going to be Frazier. He's got it. 10-5. Touchdown, Junction City.
Holy Moses, what a play.
They were setting it up all night, especially that drive. Spot pass. And then drop it deep to Frazier. Touchdown, Junction City, 47 yards. Richard to Frazier, and we are a 2-point try away with 75 seconds to play from a tied ball game.
Yeah, I know the players are excited. I mean, I want to get excited.
But it don't mean nothing now.
But it don't mean nothing yet. It don't mean nothing yet. You got to get the 2. Oh, Lord.
1:15 to play, untimed down. A successful 2-point try would tie the ball game at 22-all. They're going to work out of the Wild Dragon. Johnson, he's going to take the handoff, and he's got nowhere to go.
Nowhere to go.
Nowhere to go. He cut it up really, really early. Thought he could have bounced it out.
He should have bounced it out. I mean, it's easy to say from
our angle. Sure, from up here, definitely.
But he had it to the outside, it looked like.
And so an onside kick coming for Junction City.
No doubt.
Going to need a good bounce on the kick here. You've got 75 seconds to play. And really, this is the ball game right here because with only 2 timeouts to stop the clock, if you're not able to recover the onside kick, you would be hard pressed
you'd have very little time.
Yeah, you would almost need Des Arc to throw a pass and it'd be an incompletion to stop the clock, and we know that's not going to be the case. But the Dragons with an opportunity here. Got to get the onside kick. A great play design there just to get themselves in position to potentially tie the game. Tell you what, Wayne, they'd been running that spot pass, and then Frazier just broke behind them. And Richard, soft touch on that pass. Frazier hauled it in.
Great play by Frazier. It's sometimes the hardest pass to catch when you're wide open.
Exactly. That's exactly right. Little redemption there for Frazier. But Junction City still behind the 8 ball here with 75 seconds to play. 22-20 is the score. Richard sets the tee up at the middle of the field at the 40. Need an onside kick here. They skied it to start the second half, and it was uncovered. Now, Des Arc's backed up. The back man is not. He's actually at 12 yards. Watch something over here.
Yes. Well, we're going.
And now Des Arc, I believe
timeout.
They're going to call that's a smart timeout. Hey, smart timeout with 1:15 to play. We're going to step aside, back in 30 on the Dragon Sports Network.
Indeed.
Out of the timeout, 1:15 to play. 22-20 is our score. Dragons set to attempt an onside kick. Gabe Richard with the ball teed up. And Des Arc's going to run 7 men to the far side of the field. They're going to keep 4. Actually going to keep 3. They'll run another man out to around. Have an opportunity to even get a bounce. And so Des Arc will take over. Junction with 2 timeouts.
I got a question. When you see they're doing that, how close they were up front, why not boot it down the field and have a foot race?
That might have been that. Because that and if you recover it, you're that close to.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And so if I'm Des Arc, you got to take a knee here. There's no need to risk a handoff of any sort.
Make them
getting any sort of handoff being mishandled. with just 2 timeouts to potentially stop the clock.
I would be shocked if they run anything.
I would too. I mean, I think you got to take a knee here.
You got to take a knee.
Goodness gracious. Yeah, take a couple of knees and go to the house. They'll send a man in motion, and they'll give to Caribbean. He'll plow forward. Junction City will call timeout.
Nice second down.
And far side of the field. I mean, Coach Smith called a timeout with 1:10 on the clock, the clock ran because it was supposed to. The official on the far side of the field looked right at him and saw him signify timeout, but I guess he looked back to make sure that's what it was, and so it is a timeout. Junction City. They've got just one remaining. We're going to keep it here.
Yeah.
1:07 to play in the ball game. It'll be a 2nd down and 6 for the Eagles. All right, Wayne, let's play with it right here, so to speak. You know, say they get a couple of yards here. It's 3rd down. You stop the clock, and then you take a knee. I mean, there's still potential for Junction City.
You get the ball, but you're going to be looking at less than 30 seconds. But, I mean, that's better than nothing.
Oh, well, yeah. At this point, you just want the football back.
You just want the ball back, so you work with what you got to work with.
1:07.
Okay,
the 1:11. So they're
fixing the clock. Yeah,
so 1:11. I thought it was 1:10.
Yeah.
Actually 1:11. Okay, 1:11.
All right, so that and you know you go 4 seconds at this point. 4 seconds is critical. Yeah.
4 seconds is a lifetime.
Right, you got to shut them down. Apparently they're going to keep going with their offense. So you got to make your reads. A 1st down, it's over.
2nd down and 6. They fumbled the snap. Now they're going to have to call timeout. That's right. Regardless of how it's.
All right, it's given. Okay, it's 3rd down.
3rd down and 6. No gain there.
No gain there.
And that's the final timeout with 1:08 to play in the ball game. Dragons trail by 2.
There won't be much left, but you'll have a chance if you can stop them here.
Well, that's all you need.
And
Wayne's
that's all
a chance.
you want. I mean, that's all you want. I mean, at this point, Lord Almighty, at this point, that's all you want.
You brought your blood pressure medication with you.
Unfortunately, I didn't.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Rev may be driving the Nissan home tonight, huh?
I might have to put Rev in the back. He was over there doing a YMCA dance. I don't know if I want him riding in the cab with me or not. But, Jacob, that's all. I mean, it goes back. That's all you can ask for is to get that ball back one more chance.
And I'll say this, Wayne, regardless of how this one finishes up, I tell you, it's been a much more fun second half than it was first 24 minutes of the game.
First quarter, I was sitting there going, okay, we can get back to Junction.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. 3rd down and 6. 1:08 to play. Big play right here. Going to need to stop for Junction City. Hard count. They don't get the Dragons to jump. Morton barks out some more signals at the line of scrimmage. And they're going to give to Caribbean. He's going to go forward. He's going to move across the 45-yard line, and so the clock will not stop. It'll be a 4th down and 4. 4th down and 4. Excuse me, 3. I apologize. 4th down and 3. Clock's going to move under 50 seconds.
Okay. They will have to do something by the 23-second mark. Now, what I'm thinking they may do here, Jacob, is take a delay of game. Let it run as far as you can.
And give yourself more opportunity to punt it away.
Punt it away.
Do you want to? Yeah. I mean, if I'm you, I would, because it's no timeouts. Junction City would have to go. I mean, if you get a punt down in the 20, I mean, they're having to go 80 yards with no timeouts. And
yeah.
I mean, so I'd take a delay of game and then.
Yeah, and then punt it. But they're watching the clock.
Then again, they may just take a timeout. And they're going to take a timeout. They'll use their final timeout with 19 seconds to play. They may try to go for it, Wayne. Who knows? Would you be surprised at the way this one's going if they try to go for it and just put the old dagger in the Dragons right here with 19 to play?
Well, what I'm thinking here is field position. You back us up.
And with no timeout. Yeah, exactly.
We had the big play capabilities. I'm not, we know that. But I would rather, if it's me, you punt and you're inside the 20 having to go 80-plus, than if you don't make it. And I mean,
then you're having to go, 60 as opposed to 80, 85.
Right.
Here's the thing. if Junction City gets backed up, say it's 80 or 85 yards that they have to go, Wayne, you're not going to the back page of the playbook. You're pulling the old slip of paper that you put in your back pocket before every game going, man, if we need these, I'll have them with me. And that's the plays you're calling. I mean, that's in all seriousness, that's what it is, because you need something quick. You may have an opportunity to run 1 or 2 quick passes if you can get out of bounds, and then it's backyard football. 19 seconds to play. 4th down and 3. The Eagles are going to run out there, and they're going to go for it, Wayne. They're going to go for it with the football on the 45-yard line. You've got an offense that's averaged over 365 yards per game. Why not? Why not put it all out there on the line? A 2-point game, 4th and 3. The Eagles to go for it.
Be smart.
Do not jump.
Watch the ball.
And it's going to be Morton to keep, and he's going to have the first down. He's going to have the first down, and that's going to do it. Desark is going to win it. Junction City, and they never had a chance against that one. A good play call. That'll stop the clock with 13 seconds. And that will do it. That will do it.
Get heads up play. I mean, great call.
Yeah, great call.
You hate it, you know.
And that will do it. Final from Henson Rollins Field in Prairie County. Desark 22, Junction City 20. And the Eagles will head to War Memorial Stadium next Saturday night, where they will face off against, I tell you what, Wayne, we kind of lost track of that Gurdon Fordyce game. Let's see if we can get a score pulled up here quick on the Fearless Friday scoreboard. Junction City, 368 yards of total offense. They ran 69 plays. 141 yards through the air, 11 of 19 from Richard. Tell you what, Wayne, it was a valiant effort there all the way to the finish.
Well, you know, you look at and you go back. Hey, we had some opportunities. We didn't capitalize on them. But in the end, you look at the score and you go, you know what? It looked terrible for a while. Desart put up 22 points. Then Junction shut them down and come back and score 20. You know, a couple 2-point conversions that could have been different. And we could talk about all that all you want, but the bottom line, they made some plays. Junction had their chances, you know.
Fordyce, they're in the 4th quarter. Fordyce up 27.
Yeah.
But it is, you got to think it's probably coming down to the wire as well.
Yep. So
if this one was to hold, it'd be a Desark Fordyce state final game next week. Fordyce looking to go back-to-back, and the Eagles would be looking to pick up their first state championship since 1976.
Yep, 44 years ago. Well, Jacob, I tell you what, I'll give my little closing remarks, and then I'll hand it off to you. Earlier in the week, you know, I had people ask, what do you think, you know, what's your chances? And I said, I don't know. I said, I tell you what, you know, you look at what they've done the last 2 weeks. The offense rolled, the defense having some problems. Defense had problems tonight early on. Then the offense brought, you know, kind of struggled. Then they got it going. And, you know, we made a ball game of it. But you said it best. This team can't be judged by past Junction City teams. You can't judge them in the future. The battles they had with COVID from August all the way up till the end of October. And, you know, none of us in Junction was like, you know, we may be lucky to win a playoff game, but here we were in the semifinals. My hat's off to these guys. They played hard. They drove us crazy with pre-snap penalties, turnovers, all of that stuff.
That's right.
But I want to say this to every one of those Junction City Dragons, this 2020 team and the coaching staff. It has been a pleasure doing the games with y'all. I have enjoyed every moment of it. Thanks to you guys. I'll probably have to go get another checkup. But, hey, you know what? It was worth it. My hat's off. They executed it well. Good luck in Little Rock, whoever you play. Other than that, I want to thank the supporters of Junction City. We had a good crowd here tonight, a very good crowd. Those of you watching the game, we hated that it come to that. And I'm going to go ahead and announce that Jacob Fordyce has punched the ticket to Little Rock. So Fordyce Desart will be your championship game next Saturday, 6:40. To the advertisers of the DSN, thank you for being with us and allowing us to do this. Folks, you know who they are. You get a chance. You know some of them, let them know. Jacob?
Well, I've been around the Dragon football program. I'm going to keep this short and sweet. I've been around the Dragon football program for over 3/4 of my life. Why you still, show up for high school football? Why are you still? I love it, man. It's part of my life. I said, over 3/4 of my life, I've been involved in some capacity with the Dragon football program, and I'm as proud of the bunch over there on that far side of the field. Of course, there's a lot of hanging heads, and I don't blame them here in the moment. I'm as proud of that bunch as I've been of any bunch that I've ever been around. Like you said, Wayne, no need to repeat any of that. But for those seniors, what they've been able to do, for 4 years, they found themselves among the final 4 teams in the state of Arkansas.
That's
3
right.
of those years, they were battling it out, obviously came away with a state championship. Very, very proud, like you said. They, sometimes they drive us crazy, and other times they'd, if we wish we had taken our medication, or in my case, wish I had been on some medication. But it's definitely been a pleasure to follow them, especially during this playoff march all across the great state of Arkansas. Folks, we hate to sign off for the final time here for Junction City football in 2020. First off, like you said, Wayne, for all the fine sponsors of the DSN, without y'all, we cannot do what we do. We cannot give Dragon football to the masses. Whether you're in Maine, California, Romania, or on the back porch in Weston, we're glad to be able to bring Dragon football to wherever you choose to watch Dragon football. And without the sponsors' help, we cannot do that. For the supporters of Junction City football, for those in administration, at Junction City High School that give us permission and that allow us to bring you Junction City football, a big thank you, a special shout out to corporate. Miss Melissa Pumphrey, Mom, hey, thanks so much for all you do. You've got your hands full every Friday night when you're dealing with this bunch. But we thank you for everything you do, from graphics to making sure that we're off the air when we should be. All the encouragement and the support, we thank you so much for that. Wayne, Denton, it's been a pleasure, fellas. I've enjoyed it from the opening kick to the final play that we just saw Luke Morton convert the first down to punch the Eagles' ticket to state. I've enjoyed every second of it. 8 years of the DSN, and we're still moving on strong. Like the old Dragon said many, many moons ago, keep your head up, boys. It's okay. We'll bounce back. We're Junction City. We always do. The final from Prairie County, Des Arc 22, Junction City 20. We thank you for joining us. It's been a pleasure. Have a great weekend, a very Merry Christmas, and a Happy New Year. Good night.
The following is a presentation of the Dragon Sports Network.